Talk Radio.
Busy show this evening, dear listener. Kicking off with Richard Herring and then your phone calls. 0344 499 1000. Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far but I know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me...
I'm bored of that. I'm bored of that. We need to find a new theme. There we go. That's tonight's show. Can we find something that is better than that and will not drive me nuts, man? Absolutely nuts. Good evening, dear listener. This is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You can call in about absolutely anything. My brain is a little dead today. I don't know. Not feeling the vibe. You know, there's no vibe, man. But I'm sure as the show progresses, the vibe will pick up. But let's dive straight in, shall we, into the pool of cool chat. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Richard Herring. Good evening, Richard.
Hello, Iain. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks, man. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm just having a glass of whiskey after I did a gig and having a glass of whiskey, so I'm relaxing.
I'm surprised to find out that you're nearly 50.
Thanks.
But I am,
surprised.
because birthdays are on my mind at the moment, because I'm 44 on Friday, and it's just suddenly dawned on me that that's old, and the next one's 50, and actually I'm not that far off 60, and then I see you're doing a show about turning 50, and it's like everyone's getting old.
It is, yeah. Well, I did one about turning 40, and I thought I'd do one every 10 years. So this is the penultimate instalment of that idea.
When are you turning 50? Is it when you're up in Edinburgh?
No, it's just before July the 12th. If you want to send me a present.
Yeah, what would you like? Amazon vouchers?
I'd like a nice. I'll have a bottle of Talisker Storm. That's what I'm drinking now, and I'll probably get through it.
Consider it done. I can probably find your address on the internet, and I will. I'm sure one of your fans will know your address because you've got. And I say this is a good thing. But a slightly weird thing, you're one of those people, and I've sort of got it on a much smaller scale, but you've got very dedicated fans, haven't you?
They are, and they're, on the whole, and nearly all of them are lovely and dedicated. Occasionally there's a scary one, but, you can just get the police involved then. Ian,
Have you ever had to get the police involved? I've had to before.
I have had one occasion, yeah.
It's
a little warning.
But I'm saying it as a compliment because it is, because so much of your stuff recently, in the last couple of years at least, has been possible because of your fans, because they are supportive enough that they crowdfund and they will donate for something that they will get at a later date, and they make a lot of it all possible, don't they?
They do. It's really nice, and I've been doing stuff. I've been putting out podcasts especially and doing lots of free stuff for a long time, which I think is part of the reason they're keen to join in. But yeah, I mean, you're all getting something out of it. The idea is if everyone puts in a tiny amount of money, everyone who listens to those things, then they get more stuff back. And, all the money that I get from them to do those things goes into making more things. So it's and I get, by doing the podcast and putting that for free, I hopefully get more people going to see my gigs. And so that kind of works for me as well. So I'm sort of happy to do the podcast, on the idea that the fans will pay for them and just get what they pay for.
When you first started asking for money, did you feel a bit weird? Because it's something that I'm sort of dipping my toes in a bit. And I've been listening to a lot of American podcasts, and they are brilliant at it. At selling stuff, at selling themselves, at asking for people to donate, all of that stuff. And they have no shame around it whatsoever, which is the right way to be, I think.
I think it is. And funny enough, I was at a thing with Roman Mars, and I was saying all this stuff about how, I raised £100,000 to do, as it occurs to me, to do a sketch show, a film sketch show, and I wasn't taking any money from that. He went, "Oh God, you should take some money from it if you're writing and doing."
Well, yeah.
So, you sort of realise, they're much more kind of economically minded, but I think it sort of works on a level of, people appreciate you doing the stuff, and I did sort of feel weird about it, but then I increasingly feel less weird about it, and I would really love it if everyone joined in and I try to get people to give me £1 a month, which is a trivial amount of money, really. And if it isn't a trivial amount of money, I really don't want your money. You know what I mean? So to anyone who can afford to give me £1 a month in return for 40 or 50 podcasts a year, then that seems like, if everyone did it, then I'd be able to make movies, really, basically.
It's
so
that
I
weird thing is, partly because of the internet is brilliant and it's also a curse, but people want stuff for free, and you can get, now music is free and movies are free and all of this. Of course, they're not, but you can get them by going to a hooky website. And people, forget. People link podcasts in with radio and don't realise that radio is a big company and there's people behind it and there's producers and there's technology. In podcasts, there's people behind it, but there isn't that big corporate identity behind it.
Exactly.
Or the BBC behind it.
And that's what's good about it. And, I appreciate that, it's great to be in charge of what you're producing, and that, in a way, is the payment for me, and that I can do what I want to do. But, it's a voluntary thing, and I think that's kind of quite nice that people feel, I've been walking down the street and people will give me £1, like I'm...
Have they really?
And then other people are walking around behind me going, what? I had it happen to me once ago. I went, oh, God, that could have been me if I'd just been 5 seconds faster. You go, no, there's a reason he gave me But, I'm a reasonably successful and nearly 50-year-old man. To give me £1 in the street like I'm his nephew.
Yes, Richard, we can't afford to feed the children this month, but here's that £1 for your funny podcast.
So, that's kind of funny and nice. But, I sort of think with podcasts, someone's going to be the Charlie Chaplin of podcasts and, and create something that's brilliant, and everyone will give like 5p and they will become a multimillionaire and be able to do incredible stuff with that. But, I don't think it's going to happen yet, but someone will be that person.
What are the current podcasts you're doing? Because there's so many that you kind of have on the go at the same time and then some at different times. What are the main ones at the moment?
Well, I've got the Leicester Square Theatre podcast that's just starting up again. I just did it last night with Paul Merton and Joe Thomas from The In-Betweeners.
Wow, yeah.
They'll start coming. The Paul Merton one's out probably Wednesday weeks, the 14th of June or something. So they all go out for free. And, we film them and record them. And then, we've got really amazing people coming up this time. There's I'm going to do one with Andrew Collins, who we haven't done a podcast together for 5-6 years. So
of course.
And David Baddiel and... Limmy's coming back on, who I love.
I love Limmy so much. Limmy is by far the funniest person working at the moment. I don't know if he's not. Yeah. I mean, he's working, he's doing book tours and stuff, but just following him on Twitter, he's filthy and outrageous. I love it.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. So, it's a real, it's so much fun to do it. I'm a massive fan of Paul Merton.
Yeah.
So I was so glad to get Paul on. And then you just get them talking about their career, and it's just the nicest thing. And then with Joe Thomas, who I don't know as well, but I like him. He's a very charming, lovely young man. But I can take the mickey a bit more out of him. So it's a fun evening. I'm doing another 6 or 7 nights of those on Monday nights, and then I'm doing As It Occurs to Me, which we've been working on for a long time. It's hopefully going to be coming out soon, which is the 6-part stand-up and sketch show that we recorded over the 6 months between September and February or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of work, we raised $100,000 to do that, but to make basically a TV show for £100,000, 6 episodes is insane. So it's slow work, but we're kind of getting there. But I think there's going to be some good stuff in that. I
love the Leicester Square podcast because it's because they're nice and long, and it's because we're going to talk 15, 20 minutes, bish bash bosh, and it's done. But then and it's on the phone, so there's kind of a faux intimacy. But there. It's just nice and relaxed, and sometimes it gets a bit uncomfortable and it's a bit tense, and then it's... I did it, and it was, at the start we were both kind of gauging each other and eyeing each other up. Yeah. But at the end of it, I had a great time, and the shows, you get such a good mix of people on there as well.
Yeah, well, that's the hardest thing about it, is booking it and making sure the nights work as a night, for the people who are paying to come see the show, and... that there's a nice balance, which we got really well last night, I think between someone I was very respectful of and someone I could mess around with. But it's an absolute pleasure. And the hardest thing is booking it. But with this series, suddenly, about a month ago, thinking, why am I doing this again? I hate this. Because really, I do it all myself and I book it all myself. And it's difficult because you have to deal with agents sometimes, but also just email people and sometimes they're not getting back to you. And then just suddenly, in about 3 or 4 days, I had this kind of amazing lineup that suddenly appeared when I was almost giving up. And so, once it's booked, then it's just fun times. I spent the weekend reading Paul Merton's autobiography, which was amazing.
Yeah, it's a good book.
And then you just go and talk to him about that, and that's what could be a nicer job than that. So, and it is very gratifying that people like it so much and get behind it. So, I hope I can carry on doing those forever. Really, it's the 11th series of them that we've been. We've done 140-ish of them now, I think, and it's. That's the beautiful thing about podcasts is you kind of go, who's commissioned this? But you've commissioned it, and in fact, the audience decide if it carries on more or less. If they don't come and see it, if they don't put in the Kickstarters, then we don't make it. And but you basically you're in charge. You make that decision. Whereas with TV, as you'll be jogging along, having a nice time, and then suddenly someone pulls the plug.
That's it, and it's done.
It's nice to be in control of that.
Yeah. Oh, frig, I'm 50.
Yes.
That's the show that's... whoever does your PR is good. It starts off with the King of Edinburgh, Richard Herring, makes a triumphant return to the Fringe after a 2-year hiatus with brand new show, Oh Frig, I'm 50. Is it done? Because Edinburgh's... Well, hang on, we're early June, so there's still a way to go. Is it there? Have you got the show? Is it done, or are you still kind of working through
not.
it?
I did. I was in Putney tonight trying to do, as much as I could do. I've probably got about... I don't know, I've probably got about 20 minutes of stuff that's promising and, 10 minutes of stuff that needs a bit of work, and then I need to think of another half an hour stuff. But I haven't quite finished the previous tour, so I'm doing 3 dates in London and the Leicester Square Theatre on Thursday, Friday and Saturday with my best of show, which is just my 90 minutes of favourite routines I've done from my 12 one-man shows.
Wow. And
so then I usually wait till I finish the previous tour before I really crack on with a new one, and I usually do them pretty quickly, and I can write a show in 6 or 7 weeks, but usually I've got a bit more in the back of my head than I have with this, but I think there's a lot of stuff in this. Partly, it's interesting because it doesn't feel like 10 years since I did the 40 show.
Yeah.
But I think I'm such a different person than I was 10 years ago. I mean, I was going through a proper midlife crisis 10 years ago, and I was single, and I was getting in fights, and I was behaving very inappropriately.
Were you getting into fights?
I got in a fight which I'm trying to do a routine about how different things are, because I got into an altercation with a postman the other day, which was quite dignified.
Now, when you say an altercation, do you mean like fisticuffs, or just got into an argument?
10 years ago, I got into fisticuffs. At the end of my tour, just before I was doing the 40 show, the last day of that tour, I was in Liverpool, and I ended up fighting a university lecturer on the streets of Liverpool by a very convoluted series of events. And it wasn't my fault, and I was in the right. But I also can't fight. I've never been in a fight, and it was just the punchline of the story was basically the taxi driver. I got in the taxi with my shirt all ripped off, and
wow,
my pride bruised. And the taxi driver said that was the funniest fight I've ever seen. So that was literally two middle-class men windmilling around. And
was it that thing with you holding your heads back and just kind of your arms going around in a circle?
More or less, yeah, and then and I don't know, it was a blur, but it was kind of insane. But it was very indicative of where I was. I was never getting a fight, and it was but there were women involved, but it was sort of they antagonised this guy, and it was sort of their fault. But but I was being honourable because he behaved very, very poorly towards these women. But also, I would just usually have walked away,
yes.
and at any other time in my life. And so I was going through this proper midlife crisis. And then the other week, I'm trying to work this out because it's quite a boring altercation with the postman, because I filled all the post boxes in Shepherd's Bush with Kickstarter awards for the people who've given to the last series of the Let's Go There podcast. And he was, I thought, I'll get these couple of bags in his van, and he was furious with me because he realised I was the guy. He
was angry that you were posting stuff. That you were posting stuff in post boxes.
Exactly. But we had a heated exchange about it. But in the end, I appreciated that I'd made life difficult for him, and he called, and it was quite a mature and enjoyable thing. And at one point, I said to him, "I'm 50. They've closed all the post boxes and all the post offices in Shepherd's Bush, so you can't actually take a load of stuff to the post office because it's like half a mile to the nearest one, and I would have had to walk 5 miles basically to deliver all these packages that I was sending out." And so we had an exchange about it, but it kind of struck me how it's almost 10 years to the day since this stupid fight I had. So things like that, I think, like you suddenly go, "Oh, we might make this work." I might be able to make this if I retell that old story very quickly, and then show you how different things are. But I'm now married. I've got a kid, and I've got another kid on the way, and I'm very happily married. And it's the me at 50 and the me at 40. It doesn't feel like 10 years since I was that guy, but you could put us in a sitcom of two unlikely guys who live together, and so it's literally that different, that it's there's still a part of that old guy that lives somewhere in you, but you never quite shake it off.
Worst one of those.
There's loads of interesting stuff.
I never got into fisticuffs, but I get into arguments, and my worst one of those was about 7 years ago, and I fell out with a bus driver, and I used to use the bus a lot. Really fell out with him to the point where if he saw me at the bus stop, he would avoid me and he wouldn't stop.
Right.
And I kind of realised I realised I had to change my ways when this guy hadn't stopped for me, but then he stopped at some traffic lights. So I just went and stood in front of the bus and stared at him.
Right.
And I was going, "Let me on your bus." And he was going, "You're not getting on." I said, "Let me on your effing bus." And I said, "I'm not moving until you let me on." And we were there literally for about 6 or 7 minutes, and people were beeping and he couldn't turn. And then I just heard my wife say, "Ian, I'll see you at home in 10 minutes. And she was behind me, and I realised then it was 12-year-old me was being a dick.
Yeah. But all those, that's why, but with that argument with the postman, it was that literally both of us had a good point.
Yeah.
But he was really angry and I was less angry, but I was just sort of trying to defend myself. But by the end of it, we kind of reached a rapprochement. I actually shook his hand and I apologised.
Wow.
And then he was saying how he wasn't going to take my back. He was going to, he was basically implying he was going to throw away all my letters. And by the end of the conversation, he all right, I'll take your bloody.
He gave you £1.
But I love your podcast. But I think there's funniness in those things because it is both. I'm still a very childish man, as I know you are as well.
Yes, very much so.
But there's the fun of that, you're able to be that in the job we are, but also everyone's childish, really.
Yeah.
So I've got somebody complained about my last talk because he got upset about something where I said kids weren't capable of love, and it had obviously it struck a nerve in him to the extent it was a joke, but it had struck a nerve in him that he was obviously there was some big psychological
his kids
issue.
hate him.
Well, I think that's the only thing you can imply, because anyone else listening to that routine would say that's a man being silly.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of a truth to it, because kids are a bit more selfish than adults, but they aren't necessarily. And so he sent me this long email the next morning, about how childish I was and how pathetic I was. And you kind of go, but have you not been a bit childish by sending me this email when everyone else was enjoying the show and you didn't enjoy it? It was an adult thing to be walk away and not worry about.
That's your job. That's the people.
Yeah.
It's not as if people go, I wonder who this comedian is. I'll just pop along with it. People that go kind of know who you are, and that's your job, is to be childish.
Yeah, exactly. So, he sent me this email that was almost like, I wanted to email him, like, can I use that as my fringe entry program? My fringe program entry, because that 40 words there is basically what I'd want to put about the new show. So, but that's people's idea of what being childish and what being grown up is sort of interesting.
Please tell me you sent him, you replied with a picture of a dick.
I sent him an email back, and it was a little bit rude. But I was in the end. I called him an idiot at the start, and then I said, no, I won't call him an idiot. I'll take the high ground. But I did say, only someone who has trouble with their own kids could be upset by that. So, the funniest thing about the email, we said it's the biggest waste of 2 times £15 I've ever spent, which was a very specific way of saying the biggest waste of £30 I've ever spent. So I kind of wondered whether, is that, specifically, it's the biggest waste of 2 times £15, not the biggest waste of £30. Yeah. I've wasted £30 on more stupid things than this, but this is the most stupid thing I've wasted. And I said, I'll send him his money back, but I was hoping he would bite, because I was going to send him a cheque for 2 times £15. But he didn't. He never responded. I responded quite reasonably, but a little bit rudely. But but also, I think the more you get into this job, the more people, I think, imagine you think that everyone loves you.
Yeah.
And it's quite the opposite as a comedian. You're the biggest critic of yourself of anyone.
Yeah.
You're aware, unless you're Peter Kay and you're that big, then you're aware. And I'm sure Peter Kay is also aware that a lot of people do not like him because it's not their sense of humour. And I don't think he'll care, because he's living in a massive house. But you're aware as a comedian that not everybody likes you. So I think people sort of that's a childish thing, isn't it? Where you think your own subjective opinion is worth telling anyone about. It's worth getting to the actual person. I can't imagine. I would obviously take the mickey out of people in my act, but the idea of sort of finding them out and then emailing them or tweeting them to let them know what I think about them, as if my opinion meant anything.
That's the weird thing is, doing this, I'll get people tweeting saying, I thought the show was rubbish last night, Ian, or you're not as good as you used to be. Yeah. Or, and they often say, they often compare me to Ricky Gervais. You must be gutted. Right. Whatever. Well, hang on a minute. That was 15 years ago. And I was bitter and resentful for quite a long time, but now I'm kind of fine, and I'm paying the bills and I can feed the kids, and I'm kind of happy with where I am. Why do you feel the need to tweet me and tell me I'm a tosser?
Well, but then it says more about them. I'm interested in that. When people say, you're not as funny as you were in the 1990s, which I think is almost objectively untrue.
Yeah.
Because, I've worked very hard at mine. I think I'm a lot better. But you sort of also go, well, maybe is it that your sense of humour isn't as good as it was in the 1980s? Yeah. Is it possible that it's you that's changed and you're not 20 anymore? And so people don't even consider it could be them. And I think that's what I love about complaints. And so I'll always try and reply to people, and I'll always try and be as reasonable as possible. But when people are having a go at you on Twitter, you kind of think, well, what does this actually say about you? And are you prepared to... Yeah. I'm very happy for you to say what you like about me, but are you prepared to shine that light on yourself? And they never are.
No.
And that's the crux of it, because people who are doing that... And, I know I've seen you on Twitter, and I know sometimes you get upset about things, and I understand it. But, those people doing that stuff, just ask yourself why they're doing it. And if you ask them why they're doing it, they can't respond. They either get upset or they disappear or they get really angry. It's because the whole reason they're doing it is because of something. There's a gap inside them, because no normal person would do it. So you don't have to worry about it. I find it funny, man. And I find it interesting. And as a comedian, I find it really fascinating. And also, then you also have to have the self-awareness to go, so when I'm doing that in my act, when I pick on someone in my act, is that because of something missing in me? Which, of course, it is. But, hopefully a comedian has the self-awareness to couch those things within what they're doing. So you're laughing as much at the person on stage as you are at whatever they're talking about, And I think that's the delicate balance to get when you're trying to create some kind of interesting comedy or art or whatever you would call it out of those things. But, I think that's, it's fine that people don't like what you're doing.
Of course.
It's sort of weird that they would think it mattered to you, but I think, that's why I think that's where immaturity comes, is where you are still at the point where you think you're the centre of the universe, and you haven't worked out that you're just a stupid idiot in the middle of loads of other stupid idiots in the middle of a tiny, insignificant planet and a tiny, you know, and that you haven't realised that there's much more going on, you know. So your opinion about something, what maybe is important to you and maybe is important to 2 or 3 people around you, means absolutely nothing. And the people you're giving that opinion about also mean absolutely nothing. So, you know, it's kind of interesting, and you know, and I think that, you know, maybe this is what the show's all about. And this has been more useful for me, Iain, talking to you than it has been the previous match.
Good.
So,
I think you're. I think you're brilliant, Richard. I've always thought you're brilliant, even when we were sneering at each other. I think you're. I think no, when we were, and it's fine, and we sorted that out. But I think you're brilliant. Right. So the show is Oh Frig I'm 50. That's up at Edinburgh.
That'll be in Edinburgh. So I'm doing the show called the show that I'm doing next has got the last 3 episodes. The last 3 performances is the best at the Leicester Square Theatre on the 8th to the 10th of June. So they're just Thursday to Saturday at the Leicester Square Theatre. Also the Rich Herring Leicester Square Theatre podcast on Mondays until the end of July. And then, I'll be up in Edinburgh. I'm doing, if you go to richherring.com, basically, you can find
I was about to say, richardherring.com is the place to go to get all of the info.
If you look at the gig, if you go to the gig guide there, you can see all the gigs I'm doing.
Lovely.
But if you want to see the best of show, which is a finished show and a lovely show, you've got 3 more chances to do that. If you want to come and see me trying stuff out over the next couple of months, come and see me mainly in London. And then hopefully by Edinburgh it will be a beautifully formulated show. Maybe I'll just have a glass of whiskey before every night, and like I have just now. And
I'll come and chat with you for half an hour before each show, and just get you in the melancholy vibe that you need to be in. Richard, nice to talk to you, man. Anytime you want to come on, you have an open invitation.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Cheers.
Love the show.
Thank you very much. See you later on. Cheers. There we go.
Mate.
Richard Herring. richardherring.com is the place to go. It's Herring 1967, isn't it, on Twitter? Yes, I believe that to be the case. We used to have beef. Imagine, we used to have beef. What a world we live in. The phone lines are open now, dear listener. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Let's go to Paul. Evening, Paul.
Evening, Iain.
You're right, you sound tired.
Well, yeah, I've had diarrhea for 2 days.
Hey! Too much information, but we're in there now. Did you eat something dodgy?
No, because I work with the public, I shake a lot of hands, and I think whenever there's any bugs going round, well, this time of year, it's the June effect, you know. I think it's because things are warming up and stuff.
Two people I learnt from, right, and but when I met Ringo Starr, we're talking about the Beatles again. It's not because
Starkey. Yeah, he used to live round the corner from me. Yeah,
he refused, and I was warned. They said he won't shake your hand. He won't shake hands, and it's because he was 70 and he didn't want to catch a cold. What he did was we bumped elbows, and then Philip Schofield. By the way, has Philip walked across any bridges yet? Because I'm not walking across a bridge until he does.
Put barriers on bridges,
but they have done.
No problem. Well,
I was driving across today. They put barriers on the. Anyway, he when I was on this morning, he would he carried a little bottle of that antiseptic gel with him because he was going around and people would want to shake his hands, and so he wouldn't be rude and he'd shake hands. And as he walked out, he put some of the gel on and clean his hands every single time.
Too much effort there, and now I just touch knuckles, but even that can pass germs.
Oh, so you can get fleas on knuckles, definitely.
So I just nod the head, you know, the old Japanese greeting.
The nod of the bow. I miss the doffing of the cap.
You know Japan, don't you?
I do know Japan. I've been there a few times. I wanted to go and live there, and then we had kids, so that didn't happen.
The lower your bow is determined by the status of the person that you're meeting. Yeah. So if it's a high status, you have to bow a lot lower.
Yeah, If you meet, I went over there years and years ago to make a film about video games, and we met like the head of Namco, which is this massive games company, and we were warned. We were said, look, when you meet him, he's a really old guy, right? When you meet him, you've got to bow low. And we were there doing proper, we were almost touching our knees with our noses because to show respect to this guy. And it's, I like that. I think that's a nice thing, bowing and curtsying. Although the Japanese women bow, they don't curtsy.
Touching your knees is a bit too much.
That's a bit too much.
You just say to him, the kiss your backside.
Well, there's always a way. But I miss the old English way, Paul, of just doffing your cap to a lady.
Well, in the Victorian era, every man would cover his head.
Yeah.
We don't cover our heads anymore unless you wear a baseball cap.
Well, you don't. And I love watching footage of London from the 60s and even in the 70s, actually, even sort of mid-70s. And you would see so many bowler hats. Just bowler hats everywhere.
Well, not even that. The normal people walking around on the pavements had jacket and ties on, and they look ultra smart.
Yeah.
And the women wore lovely skirts, and it just looks so elegant. But we're too scruffy now.
We are, and it's laziness and it's convenience, and I do it, and all I wear, unless I've got to wear a suit, which is very rarely these days. I need to get a bigger suit because I put on weight. But all I wear are jeans, just jeans, and it's so lazy.
It is lazy. But how do you feel when you put a nice crisp shirt on and a smart tie and you put up the knot up and a nice jacket? Does it make you feel something a bit special?
Oh, yeah, of course it does. Yeah,
it does, doesn't it? And if that happens, I mean, I get on the bus sometimes with a suit on, and suddenly all the attractive women are looking at me.
Well, I've never had that effect. Here's the thing, though. Even
Not
if
just looking, Ian, I mean, ogling me.
Ogling. They're treating you like a piece of meat. Even if I starch the shirt, and I'm a big fan of starching a shirt, and apparently it's only working class people that use starch. I was reading this really interesting thing, and I come from working class stock, and it's a working class thing to use starch. Middle class apparently don't do it. Anyway, I've starched my shirt. And this has always been the way since I was a kid, and the same thing happens with my eldest kid, right? Within 30 seconds, I'm a mess. And the shirt's all skewy, and there's a bit sticking out, and I can never... And I was the same as a kid. My mum would dress me smart, tuck the shirt into, do the tie. Within 30 seconds, I was a mess.
I think that's gone one step too far, starting a shirt. I mean, most shirts now are soft cotton. But you know what I love even more than just seeing men in a decent suit, which I think it's very smart, is men in a decent suit with two young boys who are their sons, also in decent suits. Yep. It just looks amazing when you see that.
Yeah, like a wedding. You get that at weddings, don't you? You get the boys dressed up with the same as dad.
My friend got married in Scotland. He went up to live in Scotland and outside of Dundee. He bought a nice little hunting lodge up there. Wow. And he dressed his two sons. It was his second marriage. And he dressed his two sons from his first marriage in Scottish outfits with kilts, and there was a huge dispute whether they should wear real daggers down their socks or plastic daggers.
You can't give
now, the lads wanted real daggers.
Of course they did.
Once they knew there were real daggers on offer, they wanted real daggers.
Of course they did.
So he gave them plastic ones and he snapped them in half.
Well, imagine what would have happened if they had real ones. Kids end up fighting. Also, I think making kids wear kilts at a wedding is unfair, because the best part of any wedding is when the disco's on and the kids are doing skids on their knees in front of the disco. You can't do skids in a kilt.
Well, you can pull your socks up a bit. They have these thick socks, don't they? Cover the knees with a decent pair of socks.
I don't.
Never underrate the Scottish garb, Ian.
I've worn kilts at a wedding, and I did it as you meant to, without any pants, and then we started.
You've worn kilts? I've never worn a kilt in my life.
Oh, do you know what? It's really freeing. And we did it without pants, but then we were doing like Scottish dancing, and someone came up to us and said, "I think you should go and put some underwear on, guys." So we did. It was a little bit too free.
They had underwear on in Scotland, though. Where was this?
They don't wear pants in Scotland, Paul. They're too tough for that.
Don't believe that, Ian. But listen, you remember a guy called Alex Cox who made the film Repo Man?
Now, funnily enough, I do, and I was just because that is and I'll let you get to it in a second. Here's a dull bit of trivia. Repo Man was produced by Michael Nesmith of the Monkees, and I remember that because I'm just listening to his autobiography being read out, and it's wonderful. So yes, I do remember Repo Man, and I do remember Alex Cox.
Well, Alex Cox was a big guy. He was about 6'2", and he came to live in Liverpool on Rodney Street, which is a really classy Georgian street.
Yeah.
And he used to wear a kilt. And I said to him, "Alex, why are you wearing the kilt?" He said, "Because it makes me feel very comfortable underneath."
Yeah, it does. It does. A nice breeze. Very cooling on a summer's day.
You never took to wearing it as a regular outfit?
No.
You stick it to your jeans?
No, God, no. No, but there's not. I liked it. Alex Cox lived near you. What is he doing these days? Is he still around, Alex Cox?
I don't. It was a bit of a one-hit wonder, wasn't he? He made a couple of TV things and he just disappeared.
Did he do Sid and Nancy? That wasn't him, was it?
Good question. It could have been.
It might have
been. It was his era, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he was seen as a bright young thing, and then he never really reached his full potential.
No, he never went beyond. He never stepped into the mainstream, did he? No. But can I just ask you a personal question, Ian?
You can ask me, but I may not answer.
You wear jeans a lot. How often do you wash your jeans, or does your wife take control and wash them?
No,
I mean, I love to wear my jeans for weeks. I've got to be honest. I just do.
The pair I'm wearing now, they are very, very ripe. Okay, and I would say it's 5 weeks since I washed them. But I'm going to New York next on Sunday, so I want to.
You'll blend in then. You'll blend in New York.
But I want to wear.
The Americans are slobs, aren't they?
Oh, they're filthy. I want to wear a clean pair of jeans when I go. So, and also, if everyone knows, if you wash jeans too much, they fade really quickly.
Yeah, it's true, and they start to fall to pieces.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, if you're walking down New York with a decent suit on, you're treated like a god, you know. The taxis stop for you, people open doors.
Wow.
If you buy yourself a really nice mohair suit, a nice shirt, a nice tie, do your hair properly, and walk along Fifth Avenue, Donald Trump will invite you into his tower.
Oh, God, well, I'm not doing that then, Paul. Listen, thank you for calling. Have a nice one. Thank you. 0344 499 1000. See, better when we just talk like that. I like those calls. Alan, I'll come to you after this.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Kath, get on that microphone for a second, because we're doing something tomorrow at 4:00, but I don't know what we're doing, but people can watch it.
What's that?
The thing we're doing tomorrow at 4, what is it?
Niles O'Mahony.
Yeah.
He's coming over from Ireland to speak to us.
Wowzers.
He's an on-air coach.
Okay.
And
he's going to teach us how to do radio, is it?
No, he's going to have a chat with us.
Sweet Lord.
He says he always uses you when it comes to ideas.
On how not to do radio?
No, he likes you.
Oh, God, that's what they say.
So I might just leave and let you kiss or whatever it is you're going to do.
But so people... Well, if you follow me on Twitter, at Iain Lee, we'll tweet when it's up and you can watch it as it's happening. And people can talk to us.
I guess.
And then tomorrow at 6:30, I'm recording a show for Virgin for Sunday. And then at 7:30, I'm recording a Guitar Nerds podcast.
All right.
It's a busy old day,
I'll see you Friday.
There we go. It's a busy old day. We're not in on Thursday, guys. It's Talk Radio's election coverage, guys, through the night. So make sure you listen to that. 0344 499 1000. Caddick!
Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Caddick.
I've got 2 things for you.
Okay, mate.
First of all, my apologies for not being at the Glee Club on Sunday.
Yeah, what the hell happened there, mate?
I checked the bank balance. I didn't have enough money to get a ticket.
Hey, there were some women there. Get this right. There were 6 people there who hadn't even bought tickets.
Oh, my God.
And then they left halfway through.
Oh, that's shocking.
That's shocking, isn't it?
But according to my friends on Talk Radio listeners, I was there in sound only.
You were there in sound. I've forgotten that I changed the introduction to the second half of the show. I'd ditched Tony Blackburn introducing me, and we went with you introducing me.
Yeah, because according to Lady Cadong, I was snoring.
You at the end of it as well. You were snoring. Yes, yes, you were. And let me just say, guys, he's referring to the show I did in Birmingham, Iain Lee versus Radio. It was my solo show. It's finished. I'm never doing it in the UK ever again. It's never happening again, ever. But if you want a CD of it, or if you want the digital download, which has loads of extra stuff in it, if you go to gofasterstripe.com/Iain Lee. gofasterstripe.com/Iain Lee, you can buy a copy.
How much is this fine download?
Well, the CD is £6. The download, which has got loads of extra stuff, and it's got you get 2 shows, is only £3.
Oh, so it's cheaper for the download.
It's cheaper or just buy both.
That's £9 well spent.
Yeah, it really, really is.
It's a nice Father's Day present.
It will be a lovely Father's Day present. That money going to me will be a lovely Father's Day. When is Father's Day?
The 18th of June.
Hey, yeah. The thing is, right, Father's Day is just a few short days after my birthday, so they kind of get... Now I know how kids whose birthdays on the same day as Christmas Day feel. It's disappointing. It's disappointing, Cads.
Oh, no. And secondly, with you not being on air Thursday night with the election.
Yes.
That got me thinking, why not take over Julia Hartley-Brewer's slot in the morning?
Yeah, well, when my bosses said to me they didn't want me to come in on the evening of June the 8th for the election because Julia Hartley-Brewer was taking over, I said, oh, so I assume you'll be letting me do Julia Hartley-Brewer's show in the morning? And they said no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know we had that conversation and they said no. But make sure you listen, Alan. Make sure you listen Thursday night. It's the only place you need to be to find out the latest election results as they happen. Talk Radio, guys.
Will it be on all through the night?
Yep. And I will be going to bed. I will be going to bed at about 8:30 because I've been working every day for the last couple of weeks, and it's so rarely I get a night off, and so I'm going to go to bed nice and early. But if I wake up in the night, I'll tune into Talk Radio on DAB, on the Talk Radio app, and of course on talkradio.co.uk.
Sounds promising. And when you're flying to New York?
Sunday.
Oh, what time the flight?
I'm not telling you. I'm going to tell him what time the flight is. I'll tell you why. We have genuinely, thank you, Alan. We have genuinely had people saying, you know, maybe I'll fly out to New York and hang out with you guys. No? What? What are you talking about? That's weird. Honestly, we got about 4 people. That's weird. Yeah, maybe we'll... I'm thinking, I've got some holiday I need to take. Maybe I'll, when are you flying out? What flight are you on? Maybe I'll come out to New York with you. What? Go away. That is weird. That is proper mental. You loony. What, and then we're going to hang out? I don't think so. By the way, the Rabbit Hole show... We haven't got a rabbit hole for tonight, have we? For tomorrow, have we? No, we haven't got one. But we are doing a rabbit hole in New York City on June the 15th, lunchtime. I think we've got 6 or maybe even 7 people coming, which is genuinely awesome. Oh, no, it's tomorrow. I thought today was Wednesday. Yeah, we'll make one. We've got 6 or 7 people coming. I booked a tiny little place. It holds 24. Not quite made the money back yet, but I thought no one would come. So June the 15th, we'll be recording a rabbit hole, and it'll be about 5:15 your time, UK time. So be ready to call in and Skype in. And do that, please, if you will. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Now, it's always, after starting the show off with a guest, it's always weird trying to get into the show because you guys tend not to call and I don't quite know how to set things up. I never quite found a way into it. And also, I'm going to be really honest, I have got no vibe today. I mean, zero vibrations are happening in terms of creativity. Honestly, I'm flatlining in terms of creativity and ideas and stuff like that. I woke up at 10 because I'd left the alarm on my phone, and that was my Dan Aykroyd alarm. And I woke up at 10 with the alarm, and I thought, I'll never get back to sleep again. Let me close my eyes again. Then suddenly it was 1. I thought, oh, that's good. But I was having real anxiety dreams. I couldn't find my car. I had to carry my mum. My aunts were shaming me. It was horrible. Oh, it was horrible. And then I just couldn't get out of bed today. I could not get out of bed. So I stayed in bed and I watched the end of a really crap film I've been watching on Netflix called Lucid Dream. Basically, it's a Korean Inception, conception. And it was rubbish. And it should have had, basically, he goes into his dream to find out who kidnapped his kid, right? And the woman said, spoiler alert, I'm going to save you an hour and 45 minutes of your life. And the woman who sends him into his dream says, right, you'll know it's a dream because if you look at your watch, the second hand won't be moving, right? It means it's a dream, right? But the viewer knew it was a dream because it was all soft focus and silly sound effects. So, of course, the way that film should have ended was he gets reunited with his kid and he's crying and stuff. And then he looks at his watch and he sees the second hand isn't moving and he's still in a dream. But that didn't happen. He only looked at his watch once in the entire film, and then he got reconnected. We found his kids. It was rubbish. Absolute awful. One of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. 0344 499 1000, by the way. Then I was playing some Xbox. Then I was listening to a little bit of radio. I didn't get up till gone 5 o'clock. Imagine that. I'm a man approaching 44, and I did not get up until 5 o'clock. Sweet Lord. So I'm feeling a bit... And then we ate a load of food tonight, and I'm feeling bloated and great. And I am worrying, because Friday is my birthday, and Friday I turn 44 years old. And that is properly old now. That is properly old. The 30s are now a very, very distant memory. 43, that's still early 40s. 43, early 40s. 44, it's mid to late 40s we're in now. The next big one is 50, and then I'm only 16 years away from 60. And I think my dad died when he was 63, 62. So I've got less than 20 years left if I'm going by his standards. Flippin' heck! So I'm getting anxious about getting older. And I'm feeling it. And I'm feeling fat. And I'm feeling grey and puffy. And I'm all spotty. And I've had a shave. And I thought that would make me look younger. And it just made me look... I just look like a fat, dirty old man. Oh, dirty old man. So we'll see what happens. You know how the show works, guys. You can call in about absolutely anything you want to call in this evening. 0344 499 1000. But here's the big story. Not that one. Here's the big story of the day that I don't think anyone's picked up on. And shame on you, because this forget those idiots on London Bridge. Forget those idiots. Forget the fact he was on telly, basically saying, yeah, I'm going to be, when I grow up, I want to be a terrorist. Yeah, forget that. He was on telly. He was on telly. Flippin' heck. Are MI5 monitoring everyone? No, they're not, but Channel 4 are. Brilliant. He was on telly. Yeah, when I grow up, I'm going to be a terrorist. Right now, though, I'm just going to burn this ISIS flag on telly. All right, you dickhead. This is the important story, and it only gets a quarter of a page on page 26 of the Daily Mirror. This is the story that should have been the front page, and it shows... Oh, they've done that thing where they've made jokes at the end of it. All right, good. It shows what a gentleman this guy was, that you never heard this before. What I'm about to say is going to blow your mind. Roger Moore invented the Magnum lolly. Ladies and gentlemen, Roger Moore invented the Magnum lolly. Headline for your ice only. Sir Roger Moore invented the Magnum ice creams, a pal of the late actor claims. This is the best. This is like something from The Onion, which I've only just started reading and is very, very funny. I've only just started reading The Onion. I don't read it. You know, I mean, I do it. The James Bond star had suggested Walls create a chocolate-covered ice cream. And family friend Chrissy Eiley added Moore, who died last month, age 89, was later sent a version of the bar. The journalist said, one thing Roger is not universally known for is the fact he virtually invented the Magnum. Miss Eiley claims he told her about a 1960s interview in which he was asked which person he would like to meet and what he would ask them. She said Moore told her, I said I'd like to meet Mr. Walls and ask why they don't have a choc ice with vanilla inside that I had as a child on a stick. I got a call from Mr. Walls, who sent me a cake with plain chocolate outside and vanilla ice cream inside. In 1989, Walls launched It's just a choc ice on a stick, actually, isn't it? You're right, James Bond. It's just a choc ice on a bloody stick. In 1989, Walls launched Magnum, chocolate-coated vanilla ice cream on a stick. Ms. Eiley added the diabetic star ate a couple of the black espresso variety a week, telling her, "Low in sugar, but the best thing in the world. I can make them last half an hour." Oh, Roger Moore thought that Magnums, which he invented, were the best thing in the world. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Wall said, "Oh, no. Why did they have to put this paragraph in at the end? Why?" Wall said, "Sadly, we never heard this brilliant story, but are thrilled to hear the late, great Sir Roger Moore was a fan." And then they've done the thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where they've made James Bond films out of ice creams. Two of them are kind of... the last two I'm going to read are kind of brilliant, right? A View to a Chill. Coldfinger. Cornetto Royale. And here are the two that are brilliant. Can't say it. Kath saying You Only Look Twice. That's the porno version. There's a porno version of The Office. Mivy Let Die. Quantum of Soleros. Quantum of Soleros, you idiots. Oh, dear God. That's what that's what you get if you don't call in, all right? You get me reading rubbish out about Roger Moore, who patently never invented... I want to tell a lie. What can I have invented? I invented Calippos, actually, and I did genuinely invent Calippos. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. We call you back. So you call up, it costs you pennies, probably free. We call you back. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
If you want Paul in Stoke Poges to be the first caller of the next hour, then don't call in. If you don't, then it's 0344 499 1000. You're listening to Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Across the UK.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Here's some advice on the text. You can text 87222, start with the word talk. It costs 25 pence. Ian, I'm a week older than you. Yes, I know what this is Kelvin. I know what you're saying about getting old. I first noticed when I was getting my hair cut and I saw my dad in the mirror looking back at me. E, you should take up physical hobby instead of watching films and playing video games. What? Me and my boy just finished restoring an old Volkswagen Beetle. Go home tonight and knock a wall down to extend a bathroom or something. What? Tonight, I'll wake everyone up. Having stuff like that to do is good for getting you out of bed and good for the soul. No, it's not. It's good for it's good for distracting yourself and making a mess. I'm not knocking a bloody wall down. Are you nuts? Can you believe that, Ray?
Good evening. I did ask if I was still banned, but Cass did ring me back.
Okay. I'm not aware of any bans that have taken place. You must have imagined that, Raymond.
No. You accused me of saying that I mentioned soiled knickers when I got the hangman the other night.
No, I've literally got no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, good. So my topic is, what's your definition of middle-aged?
Well, I would say from around about 37.
No!
Yeah. Oh, yeah, mate. Totally. 30.
No, see, I think the dictionary example is around about sort of your age now, 43, 44.
Well, it's not though, is it? Middle age, right? You're supposed to sort of 70, 10 is what we're supposed to live. We'll probably live a bit longer. If you're lucky, you'll get to 80. So technical middle age is 40. If you're talking your middle age, but middle age to me is 37 up to about 52. Once you get past that, you're old. You're a pensioner. You're a senior citizen.
I know the day when I thought I'm now middle aged. I can remember it as if it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
No, it wasn't. No, because I'm now 48. So I'm well past it. But it was about 5 years ago, and I went to get the haircut.
Yeah.
I just went through the normal, we have it short, back and sides, etc. And at the end, he showed me the mirror to see that I was happy with the back. Just about to get up and pay, and then he mentioned these words, and I thought, I'm now middle-aged.
Uh-oh.
And he said, would you like your eyebrows trimmed?
Oh, flipping it. I've not had the eyebrows yet. I've had the shaving of the top of the back. I've had that.
So you're not middle-aged yet until you hear those words.
God, blimey. So you were going all Dennis Healey, were you?
Well, no. See, I didn't think it was that bad. I was absolutely mortified. But now I go and get my hair cut and they don't ask. I sort of say, could you just trim the eyebrows?
I've never been to one of those Turkish barbers where they set fire to your ears. Have you seen that?
Yes.
It's brilliant. They set fire to your ears. It's incredible and it burns all the hair. I'd love that.
It's ridiculous.
But why do they show you the back of your head? Because I've got this thing. I used to with one hairdresser. I used to say, "Don't show me the back," because there's literally no point. What am I going to do? Go? Oh, it's too short. Can you put some back on there?
Well, a couple of years ago, I actually said, "No, I'm not happy," and the guy looked at me and say, and I said, "I'm joking," because he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But, but that was it.
If anybody has ever complained about a haircut, 0344 499 1000. The only time I know it happened was when my sister had her haircut, a gentleman's barber's on the Farnham Road that I drive past every day. And she was young. She was like 13, 14, 15, something like that. And they went, "You happy with it?" She went, yeah, of course. And then she went home and burst into tears. And my mum phoned up and said, "What? She's really unhappy." Well, she said she was happy with it. No, she was really unhappy. And so my mum, they said, "We'll send her back and we'll fix it." How humiliating. I think I'm remembering this right, Joe, if you're listening. And she went back and, of course, they just cut it shorter.
Beautiful. Really good.
Awful. Ray, listen, thank you very much for that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. You can't complain about a haircut. I mean, you can say, "Oh, actually, could you take a little bit more off the top?" I've done that. Oh, God, can you just go a little bit shorter on? I've done that. But now when they show me the back of my head, I go, "Yep, that's the back of my head." Because what are you going to say? What is there to say? 0344 499 1000. Hello?
Hello? Who's that? Ian? Listen, right? I have to give you a cut today, actually.
Is that Paul?
No, it's Andre.
Paul, are you there?
No.
Yeah, hi.
No, Paul, is that Ian?
Oh, you're doing it to me again. Put me on with Andre. I'll part with it tonight.
Paul, listen, I have to get me a cut today, funny enough. I bowled in, yeah? Yeah, Paul? Hello? You still there?
Yeah, and you're doing it to me again.
Yeah, Paul, I walked in and I ain't got much hair on top, actually. I've only got like a few strands, yeah? And he said, how do you want it done? Paul, yeah? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Loud and clear, yeah? And I said, well, can I have a sort of centre parting, please, mate, yeah? So he said, well, there's not much there, like, you know? I said, well, just see what you can do, like, you know? So he brushes a few to the left, a few to the right, and a couple fall out, Paul, yeah?
Were you doing a hokey-cokey at the same time?
No, and then a couple fall out, and I say, I'll just carry on doing the side parting. So he keeps brushing. He said, would you like a bit of gel in it? Keep me in place, like, you know. I said, yes, please. So he put a bit of gel in it. Then a couple more fall out. I said, oh, dear, mate, like, you're mucking me right up here. And there's one hair left on the top of my head. He said, what am I meant to do now? The hairdresser said. I said, oh, sorry, mate, just leave it scruffy. See you later.
Why didn't they just give you a Bobby Charlton?
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. I just couldn't really handle.
Well, why are you sounding so miserable?
No, I'm just a bit. I'm a bit worried about tomorrow.
What's happening tomorrow?
I've got my GP visiting me at home, and
why is he visiting you at home?
Because I'm agoraphobic, basically, and I find it difficult getting out of the house.
You've never said that before. That's a revelation.
No, I haven't, because I don't like giving everything away about me.
Mate, calm the attitude down, Paul.
Sorry. I know you're trying to be kind.
Yeah, I am. So just back off a little bit. All right? If you don't want to make this phone call, don't make this phone call.
No, I do.
Well, then don't come on with the cob on with me, mate. Come on.
No, okay. All right.
Right. So he's coming around. Well, and you're the one that brought up the doctor. So, you know.
Yeah, because they keep insisting on seeing me because I haven't had a checkup for a while because I have to have a updated thing for my repeat prescription and.
Yeah. Well, and what are you anxious about? That he's what? Are you worried that he's going to find something?
Well, I try to take as less tablets as possible now. But, yeah, they're going to ask for a blood test and blood pressure and... You know what men are like about going to the doctors?
Oh, I love it. I love it. They can't keep me out of the doctors.
Oh,
I love going to the doctors. I'm never going to die because the slightest thing... Yeah, can I make an appointment with the doctors? Have you got nothing today? I'll come and wait. I'm like that, fine. And the doctor's, oh, hello, Mr. Lee, lovely to see you. I say, yeah, I think I'm going deaf and I got ear cancer. And they go, let's have a look. No, just a little bit of wax, clean that. Beautiful, thanks very much.
You were talking about earlier about them burning your ears.
Yes. The
I think
Turkish
what
barbers,
you're talking about is that they put candles in your ears and...
That's the Hopi candles.
Light the candles.
No. You're thinking of the Hopi candles, right, which are supposed to be good for something, but there is no...
Wax out.
Well, I think but there is no science behind it at all.
No, I wouldn't fancy it.
No, Hopi candle. No, this is in Turkish barbers. They put like, I don't know, lighter fluid or something on your ear, and then they set fire to it and it goes whoosh, and it burns all your ear hair.
Burn the hair that's burning your ears?
Yeah. It's incredible.
Are you experiencing that already at your age?
No, I'm not, but I've seen it happen.
Okay.
I've seen it happen, and
Okay, have you ever, you know, you can have your eyebrows sort of trimmed and that?
Yes.
What's that Indian thing they do with two bits of string?
Threading.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Indian necessarily, but
it's the sort of thing that I think, yeah.
You often see Indian women doing it in a stall, Hello, you can't hear me. You often see Indian women doing it, or Asian women doing it in concession stands in shopping centres.
Yeah, the same kind of thing. What was that fad where you put your feet in water with fish in it?
And then they banned that because people were getting AIDS from it.
Yeah, I mean, God, would you ever imagine doing that in the first place?
No, I would not. I don't want a dirty, perverted fish eating my foot.
I'd rather put up with my bunion.
Oh, well, geez, there's an image, guys. Come on, feet are horrible. Imagine being one of these. There are perverts, Paul, right? There are perverts that get off on licking and worshipping like a woman's or a man's feet, well,
what about Sarah Ferguson all those years ago? Toe sucking.
Here's the thing. A long time ago, when I was a much younger man, someone did suck my toes, and I'm going to be honest.
A girlfriend.
Yeah. No, it was a boyfriend. Yeah, it was a girlfriend, right? I'm going to be honest, Paul. How can I say this in a way that won't get me taken off the air? I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to dump it, okay? So the people on Periscope, I'm going to say something rude. Don't repeat that. That is not because the people at home won't have heard that. Only you heard that, and the people on Periscope.
Can I give an example? I'm not going to repeat that. Can I give an example that is something like that?
Yeah.
Is similar?
Yes.
Have you ever had a woman kiss and caress the back of your knees?
No, I have not. No!
Okay, right. Believe me,
Kath, come in for a second. I want to try something.
That is a similar thing.
I can't have anyone even going near. They can't go within 6 feet of the back of my knees because I just start giggling.
Well, it does make you giggle, but it's kind of a nice sensation as well.
Did you nearly do what I nearly did?
No.
Good lad.
No.
Good lad. Well, that was a fun chat, wasn't it?
Can I finally say what you were talking about a little while ago?
Of course you can.
Being dressed smartly.
Yeah.
Okay. What's wrong with you going to New York again?
Yes,
I know.
sir.
And someone said earlier to be smartly dressed. They appreciate it.
Not a mohair suit though. In what is this? 1964.
You're close. A Crombie jacket.
No, come on.
A smart Crombie jacket.
Well, the thing is, I do need to get a new suit because I'm fat and I'm not going to lose this weight, so I need to get a suit that fits. But I doubt.
You said you've been going to the gym a lot recently.
Do you know? I haven't been since I got ill about 2 months ago. So no, I haven't been actually.
Okay, but you were right. Do you smoke cigarettes?
No.
Okay. Well, I smoke cigarettes, and I think, what's wrong with going to the gym and working out in a gym and not being able to smoke at the same time? Because do you know why?
Go on.
Say you did a class of Pilates.
Yes.
I like smoking Pilates lights.
Oh, for God's sakes. Thanks for calling, Paul.
Good night.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Yeah, come on. We need Herb Alpert. Let's raise this. I am shattered, guys. What the hell is going on? What the hell? Da, 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 bam, 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 da, 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 ba, bam, ba, 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 ba. Let's go to Reese. Good evening, Reese.
Hello.
Hello, Reese.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you, although my eyes I feel like they're bulging, but apart from that, I'm great.
Good. That's lovely to hear.
What would you like to say, Reese?
Well, to be honest, my whole road has been closed. I've had to walk from Highgate Station to my flat.
Hang on a minute. I know that area very, very well. Where exactly do you live? Don't give me the number.
No, I'm not going to give an exact location, but I live somewhere in the sort of Muswell Hill area.
Right, you come out of Highgate Tube, you turn right, you walk past that pub, you're walking down the hill and then up the hill. Where are you going then?
I'm going towards the sort of Brian Barnet area.
Oh, that's not Muswell Hill.
Well,
Brian Barnet isn't Muswell Hill.
Yeah, I don't live there. I'm walking through Muswell Hill Broadway now.
Okay, Muswell Hill Broadway. Okay.
Yeah.
What street is shut off? Colney Hatch Lane?
No, literally the road going from Highgate. Is that Colney Hatch Lane?
No.
Yeah, I guess it is.
No, it's not. Well, look, neither of us know what we're talking. Why is it shut off? Is it terrorism?
No, God, not again. No, just road work.
Oh, in that case, that's as long as they're not winning, they won't win in North London. The ISIS and Daesh, they won't defeat the poshness of North London.
They wouldn't dare come up here.
They wouldn't dare come up here because the NIMBYs would not allow it. You are literally a 5-minute walk from the house in which You Really Got Me was written.
Oh, yes, of course.
Literally a 5-minute walk. You can walk past it and look through the window.
Yes, I used to live in East Finchley. On drunk nights out, I passed that pub most nights.
Well, it's the pub and it's the house. There's like 2 or 3 little cottages opposite, and I can never remember which one, but it's one of those is where the Kinks used to live.
Yes, absolutely spot on.
Absolutely perfect. Rock and roll. Here we go. The show's finally taking shape. Stay there for a second, Reese, but you have become the conduit for tonight's one and only topic. Mundane places that are important locations in rock and roll history. There is a tiny house, I think there's 2 or 3 next to each other on Fry and Barnet Road, and in one of those houses, You Really Got Me by the Kinks was written and first performed. 0344 499 1000. Your mundane places in rock and roll history, please. Thank you. Yes, Reese.
I'm trying to think of one now.
You won't be able to.
One of my dad's friends.
Yeah.
Was an air conditioning installer man.
Yeah.
And he installed the air conditioning to the late, great Rick Parfitt from Status Quo.
Ladies and gentlemen, and I bet the air there was a very, very musty, sweet smell. He took lots of drugs, is what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying.
He did. Didn't stop him being a great musician, though.
No, didn't stop him. But I'm afraid, Reece, that doesn't fit into mundane places in rock and roll history. That's mundane jobs connected with rock and roll history. No, the anecdote was great, but that is you've called in for mundane workmanship things connected with rock and roll history, which is what we're doing tomorrow.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll call back.
Call back in with that, please. Yes, thank you. Anything else?
Have you been to see our show yet, which you said you were going to come and see?
What was this? What?
We had a whole hour's conversation about me being an actor and being in Alice's Adventures Underground.
Oh, yeah, flipping hell, yes! Well, is it finished?
No, it's going on until September.
Can you get me free tickets?
I'll talk to the
Come on. I've got a blue tick and everything, Reese.
Well, go to the doctors about that.
Yeah, well, and as everyone keeps pointing out, it's not a blue tick, it's a white tick in a blue
yes,
background. Yeah. And everyone that tweets me that gets muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll learn.
I won't do that.
That'll learn them.
I must say as well, on this journey, which, I'm practically nearly home now.
I'm glad to have been company.
Not yet, but I was listening to that conversation with you and Paul, thinking that I was on the air.
Oh.
And I thought you were ignoring me, so I was saying things and coughing extra loud until I suddenly realised, hold on, I'm not on this.
Oh, bless you,
I'm
mate.
not on this.
I'm sorry that you're...
Don't be sorry.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm not drunk. I've just finished the show.
This feels... Well, come on, listen. I've been in show business for many years and I performed some of my best shows when I was drunk. But this feels like a drunk conversation.
No, it was, lack of a better word, it was my family are asleep. I don't want to bother my friends.
Good for you.
I'll call Talk Radio and...
Good for you. Well, I'm glad that we're serving some purpose, Reece. I'm going to cut you off now.
No worries.
There we go. We had... that felt like a drunk conversation. Last night, if you missed last night's show, and I won't say which conversation, but there was one of them that felt very much like a cocaine conversation. Very much. If you've ever... if you've ever been in the unlucky enough position to try and have a conversation with someone who's on cocaine when you are not, there was a call last night that felt like a cocaine call to me. God dear, very dark vibe. Sally!
Hello.
Hello, Sally. This isn't a cocaine call, is it?
No, it isn't.
Good.
No, I was just reminiscing about last night. It was awful.
What?
That conversation last night.
Which one are you talking about? Because there were several. There were several that were awful.
The one where you couldn't get a word in.
Oh, that one where... the one... you won't interrupt me, will you? No, I won't. And then literally seconds later, interrupt him. What was that all about? I don't think he'd been listening for 10 years. I don't believe that.
No.
My listeners are much nicer than that.
Yeah, I've been listening for about 12 years now.
Flipping heck, stalker alert.
Well, no.
Well.
No. No.
Is it?
No. No.
Okay, fine. That's fine then. That's fine. Do you know any mundane places in rock and roll history?
Yeah, the pub that I can see from my house.
Yeah. This is the pub where the lesbian teachers got involved in a fight.
The not lesbian teachers who were presumed to be lesbian teachers got pulled out.
Yeah.
It used to be the Red Lion. Now it's called the Winning Post.
Yeah.
And that's where the Rolling Stones were first selling their contract and used to play there.
Is it? Because I've heard other pubs say that their pub is where the Rolling Stones got together.
Well, the pub is it was going to be pulled down, but there was a whole petition thing for it to not be pulled down because of its musical historic whatever you call it.
Leg end.
No, the fact that it was it was a place for where music, Rolling Stones and all that.
Yeah.
So you can't touch it anymore. It won't be pulled down.
Well, okay, when it's going to stay. God damn it, it's going to stay. Someone's just, Rob has just retweeted Ram Album Club, right, who's posted a picture of the street in London. It's a little back alley where Bob Dylan filmed his Subterranean Homesick Blues video. You'll have seen it. It's the video where the song's playing and he's holding bits of paper with the words on. Right, and the Matheman mixing up the method. I'm looking at it. I think I've had a slash up there. I think I've had a wee up that alleyway. I'm sure it's in London. It's in London. It's the back of a hotel, I think. And I've had a wee up there. I definitely have. Johnny's in the basement, mixing up the medicine. I'm in the basement, Ian's behind me, having a waz. It's that I've done a wee there. Excellent.
Lovely.
Lovely days. Lovely days.
Oh, and thanks for saying feet horrible, because they really are.
Would you suck a man's toes, though?
No.
If you loved him?
No.
If you loved him, and he was like that, and he said, Sally, I want you to suck my feet, baby. Would you'd do it? Because honestly, it is, as an experience as the receiver, it is a mind-blowing experience, but feet are disgusting.
No, there's other things that you can suck that surely shows your love.
First of all, she said suck, and secondly, that was... but that's weirder, right? Okay, adult conversation.
Yeah.
So, the thing that people walk on, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't put that in your mouth.
No.
But the thing that you go to the toilet with, you put that in your mouth. Outrageous. Outrageous, but you've got your priorities are all screwy.
Well, your wife's lucky then, isn't she?
Well, yes. I don't know where this conversation is going, and I suggest we abort the conversation immediately.
All right, then.
Immediately. Anything else, Sally, before I cut you off? No. All right, thanks for calling.
Bye.
Ta-ta! 03444991000. Alan Dennis, stay there. Come to you after this.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Dennis!
Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, young man.
Now then, you're a Gemini.
Yes, sir.
Bloody hell, I hope you're not my bloody Gemini brother.
Well, I don't think it works like that.
But otherwise that, you must be a two-faced bastard like I am.
You don't give any credence to that hippy-dippy nonsense, do you?
No.
No?
No, but Geminis have got two faces.
No, they haven't.
Yes.
No, they haven't.
Yes. Sorry.
No, they haven't.
Well, I've seen two of yours.
that was an unfortunate night. You caught me. You burst into the room without knocking. No, come on. No one buys into the horoscopes anymore, do they?
No, don't do that.
Rubbish.
Because mine would be a horoscope.
What? Oh, a horoscope.
Yeah.
Horror.
Anyway.
Yeah. I know I'm hot, Dennis.
Again.
I'm really hot and tired tonight.
Hello? I was going to make my mind up. I wasn't going to talk to you this year.
Oh.
But I've decided against it.
That's so kind of you.
No, I know. I realise you get a run from right bunch of idiots on that one the other night that you were just talking about. It wouldn't get you the word in edgeways. But I've got a great amount of respect for him if he could stop you talking.
Well, Dennis, you sound a bit grumpy tonight as well.
I'm not grumpy. I'm lovely.
Sound a bit. I know you're lovely, but you sound a bit grumpy.
No.
Is it the weather? What we need.
The weather doesn't bother me because I don't go out of the house.
No, but it can still have an effect on you. We need a really good thunderstorm.
Yes.
We need it. We need to clear the air because it's very close at the moment. Very close.
Unfortunately, where we live, we get flooded.
Well,
storm.
Hey, guess what the weather's going to be like for most of next week in New York?
As long as I get across the vote, I don't care what it does.
Sunshine, baby, till Thursday, then it rains. But up until then, it's hot and sunny in New York City.
Well, get across and vote.
Well, no, I will be here.
Luckily, my voting station is just across the road.
Well, isn't that handy?
So I can stagger across there, no problem.
Isn't that handy?
Yes.
I've still not decided if I'm going to vote.
If you don't vote, you can't kick.
Sorry?
If you don't vote, you can't kick the government.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't. Don't take it out because you've not made any opinion of them.
Yeah, no, you can.
No.
Yeah. If you don't vote, you're still allowed to express an opinion.
Yes?
Yes.
If you're not voted, you can't blame the government for anything.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot.
Oh, yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you're an alien.
No, I'm not.
You are.
No need to be racist.
I'm not being racist, you're just a bloody alien.
If you don't vote, you're still allowed to criticise the government.
No, I'm sorry, you can criticise much, but it doesn't have any difference. You've not voted for them, so you've got no right to criticise.
I've not voted for them. I've got every right to criticise them. Hello? He's hung up. He hung up. Dennis hung up. If you don't vote, of course you're allowed to criticise the government. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Rick's on the line. Good evening, Rick.
Hello there.
Hello, Rick.
So I'm phoning in because a couple of reasons really. One is the famous rock.
Yes.
Location.
Mundane places in rock and roll history.
It's not that mundane, but it's well, I suppose it was. I lived there. I lived in a little annex.
Yes.
Just off the house where Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin recorded most of Led Zeppelin 4.
Hang on, but that was a recording studio, so you lived in a recording studio?
No, it wasn't, no. It was a country house in a place called Headley in Hampshire. And they had the Rolling Stones mobile recording studio parked up out the front.
I don't think that's mundane enough to go on the map. We're drawing up a map of...
Good, isn't it?
It is too good. That's classy. That's not mundane. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rick. We cannot put that on the mundane map of rock and roll history.
Well, I'll tell you the other one. I've got another mundane one.
Yeah.
In the same little village, Headley in Hampshire, where I lived. But at the time, when I was about 14, I think it was, I was quite into Aha with a big band.
Yes.
And just coincidentally, I noticed in Smash Hits magazine one day that their fan club was the post office down the road from me.
It was the post office?
Yeah, it was Headley Post Office.
Hadley Post Office was the Aha fan club?
Headley.
Headley Post Office?
Yeah, at the time, I think it was because they weren't that big. I mean, Take On Me had come out, and maybe the sun always shines on TV, maybe would come out.
Well, surely that was the peak. Surely it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, but I think then it probably moved. The thing is, I tried to join the fan club.
Yeah.
By posting a letter just through the door of the post office.
Yeah.
And I never got a reply.
What?
And I always sort of thought, as a kid, it was because I didn't put a stamp on it, it was because it's through a post office and you're sort of...
How straight? If anyone knows, someone will be listening, Rick, who...
Honestly, Morton Harkett lives somewhere in the area. He flies hot air balloons around...
Hang on a minute, are you talking nonsense? Morton Harkett lives near Hadley Post Office and flies hot air balloons.
He did, I don't know if he still does, but he used to... when Aha were famous,
yes,
he used to live somewhere around Headley. I think Parsfield, Stamford, somewhere like that, little village. I don't actually know where I'm talking about.
No, I haven't got a clue, but I'm kind of going along with it.
Farnham is? Farnham in Surrey?
In Surrey, no.
Guildford?
Not really. Is it near Swindon?
Nah.
I don't know. I don't really know places.
Sort of if you head towards Portsmouth from London...
Yes?
You get about halfway.
So it's near Southampton?
No.
Okay, I don't know places. I really don't know places.
No, that's fair enough. It's the sort of home county.
Where does Morton Harkett live now? Apparently he's a miserable
no
so-and-so.
idea where he lives now, but he used to fly a hot air balloon. A big blue hot air balloon with Aha written on it.
Yeah.
And he used to, there was a van that used to chase him around the sort of country lanes. Chasing the hot air balloon around to see where it landed so they could go and load it into the van.
You are blowing my mind with Morton Harkett.
Yeah, Morton Harkett lives in the area. It's one of these little areas where, Roger Taylor from Queen lives up the road.
Is there any person...
Thursday, and he used to have parties, and people used to phone in the local paper and say that there's aliens landing.
Is there any person in pop music... Hello? Is there any person in pop or rock more miserable than Morton Harkett? I don't think so.
I've heard that he's I've heard that he's not a very nice person.
Yeah, Morton Harkett. Rick, thank you for that. Always happy to chat. Can we got two phoners on the go here, guys. Phoners is radio slang for phone-in subjects. They are, Alan, I'll come to you in a minute, mundane places in rock and roll. We're making a mundane map of rock. I've got a map here and I'm writing them all down. And can we find anybody in pop and rock who is more miserable than Morton Harkett? 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. That's exactly what Alan's done. Good evening, Alan.
Good evening, Iain. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Alan. Oh, it's Alan. Alan, we spoke yesterday briefly.
We did, mate, yeah, when you had that idiot on who keeps on not letting you talk, mate.
Sweet Lord. Now, you were the fella. There's a weird echo on the line. What is that?
Hang on, I'll turn it down a bit. It's all right, I've got my hands free on.
You absolute pudding. Now, Alan, you were going to take your 16-year-old daughter and your 15-year-old nephew, have I got that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
To the Manchester concert on Sunday, and you were a little bit apprehensive about it before you went, but you told us briefly last night it was a joy. I spoke to you off air and said, can call back again tomorrow if you get the chance and we'll have a proper chat. So it was a success, was it for you?
It was fantastic, mate. I felt that safe, mate. It was unreal.
Yeah?
They got all the armed police officers. They got security inside. It was absolutely amazing. I felt that safe. My daughter took David down to the front of the stage with his wheelchair, so he could be at the front. And I sat in my seat at the back, mate. So I was all right.
Beautiful, yeah, nice and comfy. Well, as comfy as you can be in those seats at those big stadium events. And it all went. So I didn't see any of it because I was working.
Yeah, I know you were.
But so who was? There was Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande. Huh?
Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams. Take that.
Robbie Williams. Take that. Yes.
Liam.
Yes. Gallagher. Yes.
I love the fact that Liam's having a pop at his brother online for not appearing. I don't think he should have. If he didn't want, it was his 50th birthday. If he didn't want to appear, I don't, believe in forcing people to appear at these events.
No.
But I'm finding Liam very amusing.
Yeah, and Coldplay as well. They were absolutely phenomenal, and Black Eyed Peas, of course, as well.
Without Fergie, the Black Eyed Peas are nothing to me, Alan.
Yeah,
I love her lady humps.
Yeah. Definitely. Would you let her suck your toe, though?
Steady on, Fergie, yes. Have you ever had anyone suck your toes, Alan?
Yes.
What did you reckon? Mind-blowing, isn't it?
it's mind-blowing. But I tell you something else as well.
Yeah, go on.
You know when you were on about them little fishies in the tank?
Yeah, yeah. Don't tell me that was mind-blowing.
Right. No. I was actually in Benidorm.
Yeah.
In Spain, and they still have them tanks, you know.
Oh, no, don't. You get diseases from them.
I did it as a dare.
Oh, no, mate, because what they do is they'll go and eat someone's foot who's got, like, you know, like, disease, then the fish catch the disease, and they give it to you.
Well, I tried it. This is going back about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm still okay.
Well, no, but in that case, you survived it.
Yeah, I survived it.
And was that as mind-blowing as having Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas suck your big toe?
No. It was just like them tickling you. I'd rather have Fergie suck my big toes.
Steady. But so all in all, it was a good night. Are the kids still talking about it? They must be.
Oh, yeah. I was actually on TV as well.
Oh.
I got interviewed by Central News.
You weren't dancing with the copper, were you?
No. I was just on before the copper, but I was interviewed by Central News.
Oh.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it, mate.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, I know you were a little bit apprehensive about it, but well done for taking the kids. As I said to you off air yesterday when we spoke briefly.
Well, that's right.
Memories.
Like
You've created memories there, Alan.
Yeah, but like I said to you, Ian, I'd have got them children out no matter what if anything had gone off, Ian.
You're a good man, Alan. Thanks for calling back, brother. Take care.
Okay, take care, mate.
There we go. What a nice man. Memories, you see? Creating memories for the kids. That's what it's all about. Creating memories for the kids. I got sent a very weird picture today, my 5-year-old. Well, he looked naked in it. Playing the piano. Apparently he had his swimming trunks on. I don't know why. But just sat there at the piano in his trunks, concentrating really hard. I make them rehearse 10-minute practice, 10 minutes a day, and because they've been having piano lessons for a while, and they've been, it's all right. They're all right. I bought a cheap piano ages ago. You get pianos for pennies, right? And you just need to pay a bit of money to get them kind of all done up and stuff. So I bought a cheap piano, and the boys started having lessons. And they were kind of, they were okay. It was good. And then literally 2 weeks ago, I said, right, I tell you what I bought a 10-minute egg time. I said, we're going to do 10 minutes a day. That's what we're going to do, 10 minutes a day. And the improvement in 2 weeks is incredible. It's phenomenal. Honestly. Outrageously good. I love it. And so now I get the boys phoning me up and playing the piano down the phone. It's brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Hey, there's a strange picture. Well, strange. I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say sad because that's a bit patronising. Did anyone go and see Phil Collins at the weekend? Because Phil Collins was playing. I thought he'd done these concerts. Did anyone go and see Phil Collins on Sunday? Because there's some pictures of him in the Express. He's got a walking stick. He looks awful. He looks... look at this, periscopers. Can you see that? He looks awful. Phil Collins defies the pain as he slowly hobbles on stage, aided by a walking stick for his first tour in a decade. The 66-year-old singer who had a back opera... I'll come to you in a minute, Pat. 0344 499 1000. Who had a back operation 2 years ago, spent the entire concert at the Royal Albert Hall in London on Sunday sitting down. He looks terrible. I kind of quite like, I've got a soft spot for Phil Collins. He's not dressed up for it either. He's wearing like blue slacks, blue t-shirt and a blue shirt and trainers. I mean, the star announced his retirement in 2011 after nerve damage left him unable to play the drums. Who does he look like? That picture. He looks like a really old version of Don't Get Done, Get Dom. He looks like, no, Mr. Magoo. I can do better than Mr. Magoo. Oh, Mr. Magoo. No, Mr. Magoo. I can't do it. The star announced his retirement. He revealed last year he planned to go back on tour. He had hoped to be back on his feet for the shows as he returned to the stage for the first time since reuniting with his Genesis bandmates in 2007. But he spent the evening seated or leaning against a piano. One fan said, it was sad to see him sitting down, but his voice is still amazing. If anyone, 03444, Mr. Magoo. Pat!
Hi!
Hey, Pat, are you a fan of Phil Collins?
Yeah, he's great. We look a little bit like each other.
Do you?
Yeah.
What is your favourite Phil Collins song?
It's probably the one that he did with the animals in Disney.
What one was that?
Circle of Life.
Okay, okay. I think you might be thinking of Sir Elton John or Sir Tim Rice.
No, he did a Disney song, Ian.
Okay, sure.
So some of your thousands of listeners will know who it is. What it is, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm only good at listening to TV theme tunes.
My favourite Phil Collins song, as you asked.
Yeah, yes. What's your favourite Phil Collins song?
I'm glad you asked, Pat. It goes like this. So take a look at me now. It's just an empty space. You died against the odds. So take a look at me now. I love a good shouting song.
I'd like to take a look at you now.
Oh, cheeky.
I know.
Steady.
I'm exhausted.
What have you been doing, Pat?
Well, I got a phone call from Terry, who is the director of the Pearly Players.
Yes.
I didn't get Billy Elliot.
Oh, I know that, and we are still recovering from the shock of that, Pat.
It was awful, but I tried my best. He just said I'm just a bit too old to play Billy.
What are you, 37?
And the rest.
Oh.
And so what happened is he said, I've got something for you, Pat.
Oh.
I know, not like that though.
Steady.
And he said,
yes?
We're doing a summer variety show.
Oh, hey, that's good.
And he said, would you like to do something? And I thought, gosh, what could I do?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd do ribbon twirling.
Sir?
Ribbon twirling.
Is that still a thing? Because that was big in the 70s.
Yes, I was big in the 70s.
Oh, you're big now, I believe. You're big in the arse. But, steady. Oh.
Sorry, you made me chuckle.
Oh, I'm really... Well, as long as I make one person chuckle a day, Pat, I can go to bed and sleep happily.
You made me do a mega lols.
Oh, lols.
Rolf on the floor.
Rufflecopter.
Oh. Is that what he did?
These stars in the 70s. Anyway.
I know. Right, so I thought...
Yes.
I wondered whether you would just tell me what you think of my ribbon twirling.
Are you going to do it now?
Yes.
It's going to be tricky for me to judge.
Why?
It's visual.
Well, yeah, but can you hear this? Look, it's my ribbon. Listen, just give us a couple of seconds. You're more than welcome to hang up if you're bored, but this is tricky.
Now he tells me. Okay, yes.
I've got new orthopaedic boots, so this isn't going to be easy.
Okay.
Right, so I'm just putting you on speaker. Is that okay?
That's okay, Pat. Away you go. Pat, ribbon twirling live on Talk Radio.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, hang on, Ian. One sec.
Is your mum there?
No, she's at the cinema.
Okay. Watching Wonder Woman.
Right, okay.
Here we go.
Can you hear this? I've got to be careful. It's a very small flat, Ian.
Okay, Pat.
I've made it out of... Basically, I've used my dad's old tie and a belt, but you'll get the idea.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Go.
Right, here goes. Have a bit of music, Ian.
Do you want me to... Are you going to play the music?
There goes my free willy.
Oh.
Hello?
Pat, you okay?
Yes, I just smashed the light in the ceiling.
This is... Pat, are you okay, Pat?
Hello?
Yeah, Pat, you all right?
Well, I don't tell them Dad, Mum's out.
Okay.
Hang on, just take you on speaker.
Okay, Pat.
Yes, I've just...
Yeah.
I've just broken a lot of things, Ian.
I think you need to practice somewhere a little bit bigger. Maybe practice outside. Okay.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think you should practice outside, Pat.
Do you think it's got legs?
It's got something, Pat. It's definitely got something. It's unique. I can say that with my hand on my heart. Okay.
Do you know what, though, Ian?
Yeah?
And all the times I've rung you, I've never had a chance to say goodbye. And
okay, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give me a call, you can. I'd love to hear from you if you went and saw Phil Collins. I'm not a Phil Collins fan, but I've got a soft spot for Phil Collins. Take a look at me now. Here we go. Collins, who had more UK top 40 singles than any other artist of the 80s, made his solo debut with the 1981 album Face Value. His hits include I Can Feel You Coming in the Air Tonight, oh Lord, Easy Lover, and some other songs I can't remember the tunes to. There's that. You're listening to Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. Don't forget, guys, so many ways you can listen to the show. You can listen on DAB. You can download the Talk Radio app. We're about to go to the boring news. While the news is on, why don't you... It'll be boring. It's death and boring and a sport. So while that's on, why don't you get your phones out of your pockets or out of off your bedside tables and download the Talk Radio smartphone app, available for Android and proper phones. And you can also, dear listener, get the Iain Lee Daily Best Of podcast. And someone cheekily said online, looking forward to hearing Richard Herring. We'll be able to get the gist of the conversation now the podcasts are only half an hour long. And both Kath and I replied at the same time, yes, because he spoke for less than 30 minutes. So there'll be two podcasts. There'll be a best of, and then there'll be the Richard Herring one, and that'll be out there. And if you do download it from iTunes, I know some of you absolutely detest iTunes. Almost, I don't understand the hatred for them. When I was young, Apple was seen as the alternative, was seen as, for some reason you guys hate it. Well, that's fine. But if you do download it from iTunes, please leave a review. Please give us 5 stars. Please just type in a few words saying this is brilliant, because it all helps us get more people see it. And if it's got lots of stars and lots of reviews, then people who are taking a punt might have a little listen. Oh, remind me. I'll tell you that. No, I'll tell you now. When we go to New York, there are 2 podcasts that you have to listen to as your homework. 2 podcasts, okay? Maeve in America, with Maeve Higgins, Maeve, Maeve in America, and Keith and the Girl, okay? They're brilliant. They're completely different. Keith and the Girl is quite sweary and quite shouty, but it's very, very funny. They're both going to be guests on my show, and I'm going to be a guest on an episode of Keith and the Girl. So the 2 podcasts you need, Maeve in America, Maeve in America, and Keith and the Girl. Keith and the Girl is, I believe, NSFW. Okay, guys? You got it? Good. Another hour of this to go, dear listener. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
always leaving early and sleeping late. Secluded in the canyon, lost within a turn of fate. I know everything lost will be recovered when we drift into the arms of the undiscovered. And I don't know if I've ever loved any other half as much as I do in this light she's under.
It's only the Monkees. I tell you why that song's in the back of my head at the moment, because I know you don't like me going off on the Monkees too much, dear listeners, so indulge me for a second. I've been listening to, Mike Nesmith has written an autobiography, and I kind of use that term very loosely. And I downloaded the audio version of it. It's about 10.5 hours long. Flipping heck, his voice. Oh man, you just want to fall asleep in his voice. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. And I'm loving it as a book. There's 2 chapters about, how he basically had a crush on Jack Nicholson. I mean, it's brilliant. He did. He had a proper, he said it wasn't sexual, but he was attracted to him. He was hanging out with Jack Nicholson, before Jack Nicholson became Jack Nicholson. And it's just, and he had a little bit of a crush on Jimi Hendrix, and it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And man, I love the man so much. He was going to come on this show, and then he didn't, and yeah, these things happen. This is Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. Now, next week, Catherine and I, Sunday in fact, we fly out to New York City, and we're doing shows from a pizza restaurant, from a radio station, and from a studio that we're borrowing. We need to find a couple of other locations, and we are talking to all kinds of people. I've told you need to listen to Maeve in America. It's brilliant. And Keith and the Girl, it's brilliant. Also, hopefully speaking to Richard Bacon, to John Ronson, to Imani Coppola, to the Bowery Boys. That's another podcast you need to listen to. Steve Guttenberg. And fingers crossed, if we can pull it off, we'll be speaking to Mr. Craig Bierko, who I believe is on the line now. Hey, man, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Right now, I've got my girlfriend on an iPad. She's hiding in her girlfriend's kitchen because she's threatened to kill me.
Well, hang on a second.
On the radio.
You've not phoned us up. She's not literally threatening to kill you, is she? She's not literally threatening to kill you.
Well, it's been a short while. I can't imagine it will be long until she literally threatens to kill me.
Wowzers. Is she American or is she British?
She's British, but she has an American streak of violence. But you'll meet her. She's about 1.5 inches tall. I think technically an insect.
Wow.
I don't know that I think she's got those, like a few of her organs are probably multi-organs, like they have.
The multi-organ thing. Yeah. But why is she, hang on a minute. What's her name?
Her name is, I'm proud to tell you, her name is Frances Raffel.
Frances Raffel, stop hiding on the iPad, woman. Come on.
No, she won't. Oh, you know how the ladies are.
Well,
they've got to present themselves. But do you know who she is? She was the original Eponine in a show called Les Miserables. That's French for the miserable.
It is.
And that was.
Didn't she do a Eurovision Song Contest entry for us as well?
Yes, and she did. Yes, and she did a song when people were all losing football games, and she actually brought you back to the European. I think she just turned me off. Can you break up that way?
Your ex-girlfriend was the famous actress. Is now your ex.
She's extraordinary. Although I didn't get to see her do Eponine. I hadn't been born yet, but I understand she was. No, I'm actually older than she is. But I believe.
Yes.
I'm partial, but I believe that she set the standard, and I believe when they did the original French concept album, she was the voice. I mean, she's been doing it from the very beginning.
Wow.
Are you familiar with the show?
I saw Les Mis on a school trip. I was 17, so that is like 28. I saw it about 28 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
A long time. So I'm old, but I, of course, we all know I dreamed a dream, which I'm happy.
Which wasn't her song.
No, it wasn't. But I'm happy.
Her song was On My Own, and she just did a new version of it, which is beautiful. It actually turns into like a doo-wop song. She's brilliant, and it's sickening.
But cowardly.
How brilliant she
Don't
is.
you hate talented people, Craig?
Well, I'm a Jew, and I hate myself, so in a way, I feel like I'm calling myself talented.
You are talented. According to the internet, you are the sexiest Broadway star of 2000.
Yes, well, that you know what they tell you, and that's scientifically verifiable.
Yeah.
By the way,
Oh.
I can show you the numbers.
Yeah,
you know, it says I was the sexiest man on Broadway, but that I was the most awkward man on 6th Avenue. I can show you everything. When you come here. I can't wait to meet you, by the way.
Are we definitely
meeting?
Because we've been kind of vaguely messaging. Listen, me and Craig and I kind of share an interest in that we both, for some reason, we are men of a certain age, but we are obsessed with the monkeys. Craig is probably the only person I've ever spoken to who's equally as obsessed as I am. So we kind of message each other. Yeah, man, we're both, you know.
Yes.
And we awkwardly message each other, but this is the first time we've ever spoken. But we're doing it on national radio. Are we definitely meeting next week?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you know what's really funny is I haven't been to England since I was in high school.
Yeah.
So this is going back 3 and 4 years.
Hey.
We're gonna go back to London to visit, and we're gonna go down to Penzance and Cornwall.
Watch out for those pirates there, Craig.
I know. And, she's gonna, I don't know, you know, something upon the something. I don't know what the names that you guys have. They're all, every place you go, it's a patter song.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, totally. We're all, when you go to London, it's going to be all cockneys, with their thumbs behind their braces. You know, the pearly kings and queens.
What's that?
The pearly kings and queens and fish and chips and all of that.
Oh, well, I'll go. I'm in the theater. I'll be friendly towards anybody.
Yeah,
you know.
Of course. Listen, when we come to America, I'm a big fan of coffee. Do you have Starbucks over there?
Are you kidding?
Do you get?
I go to a place that's called Kika. That's where I go every morning. I'll take you there. That's very, very good because you should try something different. I think it's good. But we have Starbucks, and we have a Starbucks app that actually starts buzzing in your pocket when you're near one. So every time you walk near, I carry my phone in my front pocket, and can I speak slightly blue?
You could be slightly blue. Yeah, go on.
Okay, every time I walk past the Starbucks, it feels like my penis is farting. So that's how I know.
Yeah.
That's how I know. That's how I know it's coffee time.
And here's by coincidence, Craig. Starbucks.
We have other yeah.
I'm going to say Starbucks is actually French for farting penis.
Is that right?
That is.
I'm going to write
true.
that down.
That is true. Yes. So that's why it does that.
You know what? It doesn't sound so fun. When you look at it in words, it's actually kind of lovely. Now, what else are you going to do in New York? I'm very excited that you're coming.
We're busy. We got loads of guests. We're going to meet Steve Guttenberg. We've got Imani Coppola. We've got John Ronson. We've got Richard Bacon. We've got Maeve. We're going to meet Kenny Kramer, who is the guy that Kramer is based on. The original Kramer from Seinfeld. There's also a guy, I've got his address, but I don't have his number, so we're going to try and go and meet him, who's he's turned his house into a museum. And he kind of just hangs out outside, and you can go up to him and say,
"That's my uncle." Where is it? Is it London? I mean, London. Is it in Brooklyn? Where is it?
Do you know what? I've got the address written down somewhere. No, I don't.
All right. Well, anyway, let's not. He's turned his house into a museum. But what kind of museum is it?
Just like he collects like junk. He collects junk, but like he's a hoarder. But over here we'd call him a Mr. Trebus, but it's a tough one to explain. And
he's a hoarder.
He's just got loads of stuff, and you're allowed to kind of walk around, and it's not for sale. But if you're nice, he tends to he'll just say, "Here, why don't you take this?" And he gives you gifts.
Well, Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, there's right a couple of blocks away from me. There's a store. If you like that kind of thing, there's a store. He just goes around the world, and he's the son of a multi-billionaire, and for his entire life, he's been going around the world and just collecting stuff. But all of it's fascinating. And I live in an apartment, and that's where I got everything from.
From this guy's house?
Oh, this guy's not crazy.
Right,
He actually has a business.
Oh,
He has a storefront. The guy you're talking about
is crazy.
I would say I'm sure you'll be fine, but I think there's like a 98% chance of you walking out of there alive.
Wowzers. Okay, well, I'll send Kath in first and see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's what we'll...
No, and what you asked me if I could take you someplace noisy. I live in Chelsea, so any place is noisy.
Hey, Chelsea was kind of hip in the 60s, wasn't it? All my New York references are from the 60s and from the Café War and, the Lovin' Spoonful and Bob Dylan.
Down there, you'd love it down there.
Yeah?
We just had a lovely dinner across the street from the Café War, my favorite restaurant. Just let me say it. And you should go there. The best. It's my favorite in New York.
Yeah.
But it's the Minetta Tavern.
The Minetta?
And I hope I get a free dinner. Yes, the Minetta Tavern.
I'm writing it down.
But Minetta Tavern.
Yeah.
And then we don't put an E at the end of it like you. We don't get all old-timey.
Hey, listen, mate, it's our language. We write and spell it how we want to, and then you Americans take out the letters that you don't use. We know how it works.
I'll give you that. The F thing as an S worked out well. That wasn't confusing.
No.
And also, thanks for Wednesday. That car crashed in the middle of that word. And also, it's our Brexit. Okay, so stop claiming that.
Hang on, what do you mean?
Did that.
Well, you didn't do anything. I thought the Russians did it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about history. See, I talk loud, and people just tend to believe me. But yeah, if you point out facts, I'm almost never right.
How's your president doing? That's great fun watching from over here.
He's a winner.
Yeah,
he's a winner, isn't he? He alienated us from the entire world.
No one likes you anymore because of him.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it's. I'm trying to think of who, because I'm pretty good with. Now, isn't this interesting? My girlfriend's trying to FaceTime me, knowing I'm on the phone with you.
Unbelievable! Your ex-girlfriend is trying to get back to you.
No, you're going to have to fix this when you get back. She's absolutely adorable.
I'll sort it out. Don't worry, we'll fix this.
She's adorable. I carry her around like a Bic pen. She's tiny.
She fits. She rides in the turn-ups of your trousers.
You know what you should do?
Yeah.
There's a song that she sings that is actually from the era that we love.
Yeah.
That Nancy Sinatra did. It's called Paris Summer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's beautiful. She does it with another guy named Rowan, and I'm so sorry, I forget, his name escapes me. But you would love that song because it has that feel to it.
I'm going to dig it out, definitely.
And we're looking for music because we want to sing together. But first, what we've got to do is get back together again. You're going to have to work that out.
Listen, I wouldn't worry about Trump. You're all going to get nuked soon anyway, so it's game over for America.
You know what it is he is. I've dealt with this too. Have you ever met like a classic malignant narcissist? There's no variation.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no, who said it best? We have a journalist over here. His name is George Will. He's conservative, but he said it the most accurately I've ever said is he doesn't know how to think.
Yep.
And that's the truth.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful line.
Because it is really true. Everybody's trying to explain, like, well, what does he mean when he says it? He doesn't mean anything. He doesn't know how to think. He hasn't gotten to square one yet. He has no impulse other than to, feed his ego. That's all he's doing.
He's coming over here in October, and boy, oh boy, we're ready for him. That's going to be fun.
I heard about that.
That's going to be fun.
Didn't he demand to be? He wanted to ride the open carriage and that long ride to Windsor Castle.
Yes, he did. I live near Windsor Castle, so I'll be there. Oh,
wouldn't it just be a population of rifles? And I'm not suggesting anything. I don't want the CIA in my house.
Don't do that. Who was that woman who got in trouble for holding his bloody head? Who was that comedian that got?
Kathy Griffin.
Yeah. So I don't want to encourage anyone to bring. We don't have rifles over here.
Well, you know what
Craig.
I did. If you don't. Here's the thing I wanted to yell at you about. I was trying to remember.
Yell away. Go on.
I wanted to yell at you. First of all, worst Magoo I've ever heard. But you must have heard that before.
Hey, Mr. Magoo. I used to be able to do a Magoo. You do it better
than. It sounds like you have your own sweater in your mouth.
You do Magoo better.
Hey, Mr. Magoo.
Hey, Mr. Magoo.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, Mr. Magoo.
There you go. It's all right.
This is an impression for the kids. People under the age of 40 going, what the hell are these two men doing? I think they both had a stroke.
They both had a stroke. And what was the other thing? Now, doing that, I've forgotten the other thing.
Good. That was my distraction technique.
We might have just been talking about it, but that's enough abuse for one night.
Craig, go away.
Yes.
Fix it up with your girlfriend.
Did you just say go away?
Yeah, go away. Go away, fix it up with your girlfriend so that you're nice and friendly when we come over. I'll send you, a bit later in the week, I'll sort out a day.
Her.
And,
will you do me a favor? You know what? I will email it to you tonight.
Yeah.
It's a great video, too. Paris Summer, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Do it. We'll play it. We'll play it tomorrow. Send it to me tonight. I'll play it tomorrow.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And we're joking, of course. She's trying to call me because she probably lost the reception over at her friend's house. She's over at her friend's house. She
wants to sort out the return of her CDs.
I'm going to be completely lost. And the week after you're here, I'm going to be over in London.
Oh, for goodness sakes, man. Stop following me. This is just getting beyond
I know, that's
Craig.
kind of eerie.
I hate it when these handsome American actors start following me around. I've had it with Richard Gere, I've had it with Redford, and now I've got Bierko doing exactly the same thing.
Timely references, and wait till you see me without my elaborate network of trusses and ace bandages.
I'm looking forward to seeing you next
week. I'm really
man.
looking forward to it. You're a great comfort late at night. I love to listen to your show. I'm familiar with it, and it's one of my favorites.
Bless you.
And I can't wait to meet you, and I hope I can show you some of New York. It used to be a great city in what used to be a country.
Craig, I look forward to meeting you, mate. Thank you so much for calling. Lovely to talk to you.
I'll talk to you soon.
See you later on. There we go. What a nice man, Craig Bierko. You'd have seen him in loads of pieces. He was in Sex and the City and all kinds of stuff. Thank you for that, Craig. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to hearing that song. Patrick, stay there. Come to you after this.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I'm excited about New York now. We're writing down the names of restaurants we're going to. We're also going to see John Ronson and Maeve Higgins doing a show. We might be appearing we're going to be appearing as guests on a show on WFMU. We're just sorting out which one. Loads going on, man. I'm going to be a guest on Keith and the Girl, which I'm. Do they think I'm somebody? Because I'm very nervous about it. They have proper people on there. Anyway, it's Patrick.
Ian.
Big up yourself, Patrick.
How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. What you got for us?
Right. No. Before I talk about Phil Collins,
yes.
That monkey song that you played just after the news.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard about 3 or 4 times, but only on your programme.
Yeah, it's
beautiful,
absolutely
isn't it?
stunning. Me and Magdalena, written by Ben who?
Ben Gibbard, right?
Right, from Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah. I remember you mentioning that before.
Yeah,
I was surprised. But they're not surprised because it's a good song, isn't it?
It's got and
it's one of those songs that sort of reinvigorates and reinforces.
First time I heard that, there's the line about. Of course, I can't remember it now. When you look, you see the eyes of a long lost father. Oh man, it gets me every single time, man. It gets me every single time. Anyway, were you at Phil Collins?
No, God no.
Oh,
no. I remember last October. Is the phone line okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Last October, he did this press conference at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
That was presented by Jules Holland.
Oh, yes.
And it was to advertise this Not Dead Yet tour that he's doing now.
Yes.
And he sort of shuffled up onto the stage, this sort of decrepit...
He does look, in the pictures, he looks terrible, yeah.
And he was sort of bloated and overweight, and he was wearing this this old he had a walking stick, and he was limping, and he had this old baseball cap on and this scruffy polo shirt on, and a pair of elasticated tracksuit bottoms, and what looked like a pair of sort of Velcro built-up orthopaedic shoes.
Yeah, and
I thought, and he looked awful, and I thought, you're meant to be selling yourself, Phil, because when I think of Phil Collins, I think of him running in circles around a big revolving stage singing studio.
But if he's right, and you've described, he kind of looks similar to that in his pictures. But here's the thing: if you can't walk properly, then it's really easy to put on weight. And so the weight thing, I've not got a problem with that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he's wearing slacks and a t-shirt and a shirt, and you kind of think, mate, you haven't played live for 10 years. You know, you at least get a smart suit or get a look. Don't look like you've just come out of the care home for the day.
He looked exactly like one of the men you see hanging around Harlow Weatherspoons on a weekday morning at 9 a.m.
I know. It's a cruel description, but you know what? It's a fair description.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's struggling with he's obviously uncomfortable and in a lot of pain. So I feel sorry for it. I've got a begrudging respect for Collins. You hate him, don't you, Patrick?
I beg your pardon?
You hate him. You're not the fella that stole his wife, are you?
What, that was a builder. It was his builder, wasn't it?
It was a builder, was it? Okay, right, okay.
But you know what? I mean, I think Phil Collins is, as far as his solo work goes,
yes,
by and large, it's awful. But face value, his first
studio.
No, that's not on face value, is it?
No, but it's a good song.
It's okay, but face value as an album is genuinely great.
No, I'm not.
It's a great record.
Probably
it's
not
ruined by it. Sort of, it's a great record all the way through, and then it finishes with a terrible cover version of Tomorrow Never Knows.
Yeah, he does do that.
Yeah.
That is what can only be described as a stinker.
It is.
Yes, that is a stinker. But I've got a soft spot for Collins. I feel some kind of connection with the man. I don't know why, and I think we should all respect him a little bit more than we do. Do you know what? Do you know what I'm doing, Patrick? While I'm talking to you.
I beg your pardon?
Do you want to know what I'm doing while I'm talking to you?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I'm fingering Sergeant Pepper. I'm online, and
Have you just bought a box set?
No.
I've got it.
What? Which one?
The Super Deluxe, the £100 boy.
Here's because it's sold out now, and so now, of course, now I don't even like Sergeant Pepper. Now it's sold out. I'm thinking, I wish I bought it. But are you ever going to listen to the other discs?
Well, that's what I bought it for.
Yeah, but are you ever going to listen to them more than once?
Possibly.
No.
But
no.
It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Materialistically, the box set isn't worth £109 or whatever I paid for it. But it's I've got a real weakness when it comes to buying music and books and things like that. So
I have for the Beatles. I've got a weakness for the Beatles, and this one thing, it just isn't doing it for me. It's 110 quid. No, put it away, boy. Put it away, boy. Put it away. Put it away.
I was going to ask you something else, actually.
Yeah, go on.
I've just remembered. You reminded me. I know you don't like Pet Sounds, but I do.
I don't hate it, but I don't. It's certainly not the Beach Boys' best record by a long way.
No, okay, right. Well, I've been eyeing up. There's a 50th anniversary box set edition.
Yes,
isn't there? But there's also the Pet Sounds Sessions box set, isn't there?
I've got both of those. Yes.
So what's the difference? Is there stuff on the 50th anniversary edition that's not on the Pet Sounds Sessions?
No, I, off the top of my head, I don't think there is. No, there might be. There might be a new stereo mix, but you don't really want to listen to it in stereo. I think it's all on the Beach Boys. But the Pet Sounds Sessions is a great box set.
Yeah.
Get that.
Okay, I'll get the. I mean, that's considerably cheaper now, isn't it?
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Excuse us geeking out, guys. Pet Sounds Sessions. It's mate. You can get it for less than 30 quid.
I know. Yeah, I've been eyeing it up for a while, but I saw the 50th anniversary box set. No. Okay, I won't bother.
Thanks, Patrick. Bye. There we go. You see. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Last 30 minutes of the show, Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Yes, Paul?
Hi, is it possible to speak to Kath?
Why?
Am I on air?
Yes. No, it's not possible to speak to Kath.
Okay, well, I wanted to say it because, all right, I'll say it, okay. You might not believe me, but it's true. You want to see Alice's Adventures Underground, yeah?
Well, yeah, but I don't, in all honesty, I don't know when I'm going to be able to go.
Okay, well, fair enough, but all I can say is, it's kind of private, but I'll say it. Alexander Wolf, who plays and writes the music in it.
Yeah.
You heard of Alexander Wolf that does it?
No.
Well, he performs in it and he writes all the music. He's a singer-songwriter in his own right.
Okay, yes.
He has been he's a close personal friend of mine, and he has been for about the last 10, 12 years.
Yes.
And when he first started out in his first band, I was his guitar technician.
Wowzers.
And I could quite easily get hold of him, and if you wanted a couple of free tickets to maybe take you and your children, I wouldn't think it'd be very difficult for me to organise.
Paul, you're very kind. I shall think on it. There's some way to go until September, so maybe I could find a weekend to take them. Paul, you're a good man. Thank you, sir. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number for the first time this evening. We have no calls. 25 minutes of the show left. Up yours. Isn't this Bill Cosby thing fascinating? Isn't it fascinating? We can kind of talk about it because it's in America. If it was in Britain, we wouldn't be able to talk about it. We can kind of talk about it. And here's the weird thing. It's the picture of him, and he's an old man. But one of the Cosby kids is going into court with him. The middle Cosby kid. There's a picture of the middle Cosby kid and Bill Cosby. They're not really his kids. I don't know if they know that. But she's going into court with him. It's a very... there's not really a lot to say, is there? We don't know what's going to happen and how it's going to go. It's a very strange turn of events, isn't it? Very, very strange turn of events. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Here's my copy of the Daily Star, 'cause there's a story in there. There it is. Are we playing Dan Aykroyd tonight? I've forgotten. Should we play Dan Aykroyd? Let's do Dan Aykroyd at the end of the show. Yeah, let's do that. Let's play Dan Aykroyd. Should I say Dan Aykroyd again? Dan Aykroyd. Let's play that. Let's play that. Here we go. Look at this. A brainless biker. Aren't they all? Was nabbed by traffic police after he was spotted taking selfies at almost 120 miles per hour. The reckless rider sped past horrified motorists on the M6, pulling wheelies and whipping out his mobile phone. Here's the thing. I'm not one of these radio hosts where, cyclists they should all be shot. I'm not one of those people, right? But. Number of cyclists I've seen with headphones on. Active. I've seen loads of them. What's that all about? Well, how can you do that? You can't ride a bike with headphones. I know it's boring and you want to hear music, but you can't ride a bike with headphones on. Can you? No. I don't think so. I think it's inappropriate. Would you agree with me, Julie?
Hello, Iain.
Thank you very much indeed.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
And it was about, you're saying about going to the hairdressers or barbers and having hair burnt off your ears and things like that.
Yes.
Which I've seen done, and which always
It's the
alarms
Turks.
me.
The Turks do it, and those people want to join Europe. No, thank you.
And I was going to ask you if you'd ever had one of the shaves, you know, where they put the hot towel on your face.
Yes, I have.
What's that like?
It's amazing. It really is a proper wet shave by a barber. It was a young lady that did it. I had it done twice, and the best results, you need about 3 or 4 days growth, and you go, and it is. It's very relaxed. The first time it was quite tense because I'm thinking, for God's sakes, don't kill me. But I have never had such a close shave in my life.
See, my father-in-law said that he had one of those shaves on the morning that he got married, and he said he didn't need to shave for 2 weeks afterwards.
It's incredible.
I'm doubting that, but
honestly, mate, it was like, it's not like being a baby smooth, but it was like being 14 again. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I hate shaving, and I've kind of got an all-right technique now where I had a shave today for the first time in a couple of weeks, and it was kind of all right, but it's all a bit stubbly now, and I can feel it coming. But yeah, you're right. 2 or 3 days of being completely smooth. It's wonderful. So relaxing.
I've got another question to ask you, and that is, do you have, and you don't have to answer this question, but, so I took my son to have his hair cut.
Yeah.
And I took him round to see my parents, and my dad said, I really like that haircut, but you have to tell me how much it is because my absolute utmost is £17.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Have you got an utmost and upper limit of what it will cost you to have your hair done?
Well, I used to go and see a guy, where I used to get the wet shave, I used to go and see a guy called Joe. He also did Dermot O'Leary's hair, and that was 40 quid. That was in central London. And then I moved out to Windsor, so I stopped seeing him, and I went to a salon, and it was 29 quid. But now I go to this barber's, and there's a chain of them, right? And I would go and get my hair and beard done when I had a beard, and it was 25 quid for the pair. But they had this club, right, where if you pay 200 quid for the year, you can go in as many times as you want in that year and get your hair cut and your beard trimmed for 200 quid.
And did you partake of this?
I did.
Offer?
Oh, I did. So that means Did
you get value for money?
Yeah. I mean, if I go in there I like to get my hair cut once every 4 or 5 weeks. So if I go in there once a month, that works out at 17 quid a haircut. But it also means I might pop in tomorrow, even though I had it cut 2 weeks ago, just to get a little trim for New York.
Yeah. Now, do you feel you've not got a beard at the moment, have you?
No.
Do you feel that because you haven't got a beard, you're not getting as much value for money?
Yes, I do. If I might not have signed up if I'd not had a beard at the time. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Julie, I'm going to cut you off.
Cheers.
There. Break.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Wild man. The 27-year-old's antics were caught on camera, and officers managed to pull him off, near Stafford Services. The Yamaha R6 biker from Essex was arrested. In a string of tweets, the Central Motorway Police Group said, shocking antics. Motorcyclists, he's doing a wheelie, he's popping a wheelie, what an idiot. On the motorway. Motorcyclists seen doing wheelies, no hands. No hands. It's like a teenager's diary. Doing wheelies, no hands, standing up, speeding, even taking a selfie. Unacceptable, say the old Bill, and good for them. Drivers stopped and dealt with for multiple offences, all caught and recorded. Drivers slammed the thug's kamikaze behaviour, branding the biker, quotes, an absolute twat. Oliver Manley tweeted, this has got to be the most reckless motorcyclist in Britain. Well, is he, or have you been more reckless? Send us your video footage of you being a dick on a motorbike and we'll put it on the Talk Radio Facebook page. And we'll pick a winner at the end of June. Lucy Parker, Nosy Parker, I call her. said, glad he's been caught because he should not be on the road. Idiot. Well, seriously, guys, don't mess around on motorbikes on the road because it is bang out of order. Oh, I'm tired. It's a story about a hamster. That's boring. I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to. I'll be honest. All the stories. Oh, it is a good story, actually. Here's a good story. I won't read all of it. Basically, it's a picture of the woman on Countdown, and someone's got the word vaginas. So, I mean, that is the story. It's there. It's there. I'll read it out. I'll have one from below, please. Countdown's Rachel Riley, 31, cracks up as she spells out vaginas on TV. Why? It's just Latin for fanny, that's all. Sales worker Ellen Guy from Surrey came up with the rude word, vaginas isn't rude, to win 7 points on the Channel 4 quiz. Singer and Dictionary Corner guest Jimmy Osmond. Oh! He'll be your long-haired lover from Liverpool. 54 joked, I think I'll be going. We have saving, not nearly as interesting. Would you like to make a deposit? On that bombshell. So, Dan Aykroyd, the Dan Aykroyd, phoned me up the other day. We've been, for months and months and months, we've had a PR company kind of dangling Aykroyd's carrot in front of us. And we can get, and we didn't think it was going to happen. But fair play to the bloke called James, who works at the PR company, who sorted it out. And I think I mentioned yesterday, Dan was going to phone me on my home phone on Monday morning at 10 o'clock, right? And I got up early, and I'm glad I did, because my phone hadn't charged. So it was dead, so I put the phone back in the cradle. I got about 30 seconds of charge, which was just long enough for them to phone me up and me say, quick, you have to phone me on my mobile. It's this. And then the phone died. And I thought, did they get it? Thank God they got it. And about a minute later, someone phoned up and said, hi, I've got Dan Aykroyd for you. And this, dear listener, is what happened. Hey, Dan, can you hear me?
Yes, all right. Are we going to be on the air?
I'm recording this, so we're not live now, so you can swear as much as you want, sir.
All right. I guess, is the reception okay?
The reception is absolutely perfect. I have state-of-the-art technology here, Dan, so it's all sounding good. How are you doing, man? You all right?
I'm enjoying being over here under the circumstances and really happy to be here at this time.
Well, thank you very much, man. It's, it's a very weird time to have any visitors over, of course, but it's an absolute thrill to have you. I was wondering I was reading that you were going to be a priest, and I kind of wondered how far down that route you went, and, what changed? What was the moment where you went, actually, I'm going to go and do, funny voices and silly characters?
Well, let me tell you, I started out as an altar boy, being a good young Catholic boy at the time. And then my parents wanted me to go to a Catholic school because they felt there would be a better education in the public school. So they said, we'd like to go to St. Pius Minor Preparatory Seminary for Boys.
Wowzers, that's a title.
Yeah, and so I had an interview with Father Lunny.
Yeah.
And he asked me in front of my parents. My parents were there, and they really wanted me to get in this school. And he said, so, Dan, you're seriously contemplating the priesthood as a vocation, are you? And here was my answer. I'm looking at my parents, looking at me. Yes. So I was there from 9, 10, and 11. I had a great education, but I was not a great student, but the education was good. And then my parents got a letter after my grade 11, after I failed math and had to go to summer school. They got a letter saying that we believe your son is not suitable for the priesthood.
Oh.
And so I was asked to leave. But really seriously, I never really wanted that as a profession. I just did it to make my folks happy.
Well, do you remember? Which is what we do when we're younger. Sometimes. Do you remember the first time you stood in front of people and got a laugh and got that buzz from making people laugh?
When I was 6 years old in grade 3, they put me in front of the entire Our Lady of the Annunciation Catholic elementary school on stage at the church.
Yeah.
Basement, and they made me sing McNamara's Band.
Okay.
So I sang solo. Sang McNamara's Band on pitch, on key, and got a great reaction from the audience. And I thought, well, that's maybe something in this, you know?
Yeah.
And, so that really was the first exposure to the corruption of audience approval.
And Second City, how did that come about? Because am I right that you were doing Second City and that's how you ended up with Saturday Night Live?
Well, Second City is improv school, and I auditioned for it in Toronto, and Lorne Michaels, who produces SNL, has always traditionally rated a talent from Second City gone and recruited from Second City, so he basically recruited me out of there. You have to go on to do SNL. But I was trained in improv at Second City in Chicago and Toronto.
And when, in the early days of Saturday Night Live, did you know that you were creating something that was magical and was really special?
Well, we knew from the first show, the reaction, that we were on our way to something that would have an impact in the way comedy was being redefined, and maybe a little more intelligent, less slapstick, and less scatological than, although we went that way ourselves. But, we were definitely changing humor. And we knew it, yeah.
And
we knew it was special.
Who were your comedy influences? I know you have people like Monty Python and things like that guesting on there.
Yeah. Phil Silvers, I loved him, and I loved Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, and Kay. And, what was her name? I'll think of it. Anyway, basically Phil Silvers, Lucille Ball.
Yeah. I wasn't going to mention Ghostbusters, but I had to, simply because someone told me that there was going to be a time travel element in it, but the studio kind of nixed that. What was the time travel thing going to be?
Well, no. Well, the first. It wasn't. It was interdimensional travel.
Okay.
And, it was in the first draft, and we all, when we took that first draft, and then when I got to work with Harold and Ivan on it, we changed a lot of things, and there was no studio pressure at all.
Okay.
No, we believe me, when we walked into the studio and they bought it, they let us pretty much do it as we wanted.
And I am really confused, right? I've got 2 young boys, but I've got friends that have got young daughters, and I think it's really exciting that they're
Arden. That's the name.
Go on, sorry.
Arden.
Eve Arden. Okay, right. Thank you.
Eve Arden, the comedian.
I could hear your brain clicking. I think it's really exciting that there are loads of films coming out now with female kind of heroes, like the new Wonder Woman movie, which is brilliant, and the new Ghostbusters, which obviously got the women as the main protagonists. Were you surprised? There was a really weird kind of backlash online about having women in the lead role of the Ghostbusters reboot. Were you surprised by that?
And you actually give credence and credibility to people who would take issue with that?
No.
These are people.
Go on.
These are people who live in basements. They can barely pay for the Wi-Fi that they're using. They are absolute losers. They're misogynists and they're sexist, and I completely discount them as worthless human beings.
Oh, brilliant! Good for you, Dan. I'm glad that has bounced off you, and you've given it the credibility it deserves.
You think I care about anything on the internet? You can't touch me. It's all people wasting their time wasting their lives tapping away and buried in electronica.
Yeah.
It's really, really sad.
Good.
So fun.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd, I love it. Let me ask you one more question, then we'll get to the business element. I know why you're here, sir. One of my favourite films when I was a kid growing up is Spies Like Us, and I love it. Sure. I love it because I love those Bob Hope, Bing Crosby films.
Exactly.
It looked like fun to make. Was that the case?
It really was. It was like making a Bond movie. We shot at Pinewood. We shot in Morocco. We shot in Norway. It was really, really, really great. We replicated a Soviet SS-20 rocket, for God's sake. And got my wife in there. She got to kill my 3 best friends. It was really fun.
It's such a good film. I remember we had it on Betamax video as a kid, and it just got worn out because we just kept that lovely scene where you and Chevy are doing the exam, sitting the exam to become spies.
Well,
it's hilarious.
That scene was all too true of me in high school, I'm afraid.
Oh, really?
And college, yes. I have crib notes everywhere. But you know, I've had people come up to me, young people in the intelligence service in the United States, come up to me, people in their 30s and late 20s, and saying that movie inspired them to apply to go to the CIA, DIA, NSA, NRO.
You are joking, really?
No. Several occasions people have said that encouraged them to go into the intelligence service. So, wow.
That is incredible, man. Listen, now, how do you make the move from altar boy to movie star to vodka pusher? You've got this vodka. What's going on with that, man?
Well, you know, I provided fun impressions for people's eyes and ears, and with the music and the television and film, and I've provided a simulation of the human diaphragm with whatever laughter we were able to produce, and now I wanted to put something in people's tongues that was of high quality and of the same kind of quality as my best work in the film, television, and recording business. Yeah. So I developed this vodka, and I decided to strip all of the traditional additives that are used in lesser products out of the vodka, and we won a medal in Moscow at the Prodexpo. Excellent taste out of 400 beverages. That's like winning a sushi contest in Japan.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And the reason is we don't have any terpenes, no glycol, no sugar, none of the traditional additives in the lesser expensive products. And so bar chefs love Crystal Head because it's the blank canvas on which to bring cocktails to life. If you knew you could work without glyceride, without terpenes, limonene, or sugar, if you were a bartender, you could make the choice to work with a pure spirit, and that's what we're supplying with Crystal Head. Pure spirit, blank canvas, the hole in which to pour your additives.
And it comes in a cool bottle as well. That's important.
Yeah, well, the bottle says enlightenment in pure spirit and pure drinking. It's a beautiful clear skull with a nice little smile on its face.
Dan Aykroyd, man, honestly, I love you so much. And 15-year-old me is dancing around with joy that you have phoned me at home. Listen, I wish you the best of luck and have safe travels back, man. Thank you so much.
Man, thanks a lot. Have a great summer.
Thanks, Dan. Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Join the conversation party. Election 2017 on Talk Radio.